Hello, exiles. Apologies for the bit of delay. Had a couple moving parts here, but here I am, 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. What do we have to talk about, exiles? Well, a lot and not a lot, okay? So here's the agenda for today. First up, we're stalling. It's the Stallcast. What in the world is going on? No news from Grinding Gear Games. Why is that happening? What could they be cooking? What could be happening on their end? Is there a delay for 0.5? We're going to chat about that. We're going to see the likelihood of that actually occurring. And then about 57 minutes from now, we will be chatting with my friend MisoxShiru on the I want to call it the Still Sane podcast because it's the name of the pod, but maybe we'll shift it to the Still Stalling podcast, you guys, because I mean, let's be real. We're stalling. I legit thought we would have more concrete info on the next update at this point, but GGG, they're not giving us anything yet. But for real, I reached out to Miso after my Path of Exile 2 Must Take a Stand video, and he reacted to it. Now, I didn't see the reaction, okay? But he made not one video, but two videos in response to it. I didn't see the first video. We're going to react to it today on stream. I saw the second video, and the discourse around his video had me wanting to talk to him because it almost seemed like people thought we were beefing and that he was throwing shots at me or dunking on me, including my own brother. My brother was like, yo, Miso's trying to dunk on you, bro. And I'm like, one, okay, go for it, Miso, whatever. But two, we're just making content, right? And, you know, I'm chill with Miso. We talk all the time behind the scenes. So, but I will say, after watching the first video, I do kind of see where some people might be coming from, seeing that we're almost in a cold war of sorts on how we see Path of Exile 2 or have interpreted the original vision from GGG and Jonathan. Now, I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior for the more slower paced gameplay, but not slow gameplay, and the more meaningful combat. While Miso, he likes the zoom. He likes the zoom, and he thinks you should be able to blow up screens pretty quickly in the game. Now, I think you should be able to blow up screens, just not as fast as we get there now, because it's kind of ridiculous. So that's on the agenda for today. After that, you know, I've got church, we've got our lunch, and yeah. So it should, hopefully it's good. Hopefully everything's working properly. How are people doing? Oh, chat is working properly. Okay, cool. What's going on, people? Hey, Kurt. Hey, Priest of Mork. Hey, Simon. Hey, New Fashion. Hey, Stacks. Hey, Jerko. Hey, Valatis. Yeah, it is early. It's for Miso. This is when he streams. What is happening? What is the Miso beef? It's the whole like hey, thanks for the follow, Garf. Whoa, Garf. What do you whoa, I recognize that name. How are you not following me on Twitch, brother? I agree with Jazz. Meaningful combat at the start, then toward endgame blasting. Jazz has the best take. All right. My man. I agree with you too. However, should it be an on-off thing as it currently is for a lot of builds? That I think it needs to be smoother. We're basically in the same state as 0.1, where it's more meaningful. You have to engage with the monsters throughout, and then in endgame, you stop caring about the monsters. Your build is online and basically killing them too fast. I want to actually have to watch what the monsters do, dodge their abilities, be like, oh my gosh, there's X monster, there's Y monster, there's Z monster. I need to care about what they're doing, as opposed to, uh-oh, there's a degen, there's a ground degen, oh, there's a non-death effect, oh, I gotta watch out for that. You know how ridiculous that is, that that's what you care about in the end game, that nothing else is scary or dangerous. Like, that, I feel like that is so obviously boring, but so many people totally disagree with me. I don't know, it's just fundamentally different takes. And no, that doesn't mean I want a Dark Souls game, although, God, really like No Rest for the Wicked, which is basically a Dark Souls game, I hear. So, yes, hey, Solo Leveling, good to see you too, brother. I just want swords for the love of God. 2 of the 3 PoE 2 streamers that I actually watch can't be beefing. No. Okay, it's a fake beef. It's a fake beef. People made this up in the comments, but when my brother was like, yo, what's going on? I was like, all right, you know what? Let's get Miso on the pod, because you know me. I would rather talk to someone one-on-one rather than beef, you know. Almost everyone. I've got one blacklist. 100% ground degens being scarier than mobs is insane. That's right. But that is like the end game, essentially. The ground degens are scarier than mobs, or there's the 100% to 0% one hit that will fly at you and take you out. So cool in theory, but doing 50 maps a day like this would be too exhausting. Okay, Niels, that's the thing too. Yeah, you know, that's the other one. The whole repetition, like it's too repetitive and that's too boring. My brother, if you're doing 50 maps already, isn't it like repetitious? What if you only do 15 maps? You're rewarded more for those maps because there are fewer mobs, the mobs are harder, and you actually have to engage with the content. It's the whole debate that I said a long time ago that I thought was silly, all right? And he's great. He's great, but he popularized this. He said this multiple times before. Like, Zizarin wants to be able to watch Netflix on his side monitor when he plays, right? In endgame. You know, just chill, right? I despise that. When I game, guys, don't come, like, when I game in PoE 1, I do that because that's the type of game that is. I was just seeing PoE 2 as being a chance to be something a little different. Because I feel like the field is a little... it's a little flat. It's a little stale. I think Last Epoch, PoE 1, Diablo 4, Torchlight Infinite, I feel like they fill out the same niche, right? They're all just slightly different flavored, right? But it's obvious that since PoE 1 kind of dominated the ARPG genre after following in the footsteps of Diablo 2, a lot of games have been chasing that sort of feel, and it's the same sort of gameplay. It's the go from one screen to the next, blowing up packs of mobs very quickly, and you get that power pretty quickly in all these games. I'd argue in Last Epoch, it's actually the slowest. Like, you don't blow up screens as fast in the other games. And you know, PoE 2 has just followed in those footsteps, right? And I get that was always supposed to happen, right? You were always supposed to blow up screens. I just argue that the progression to that is a little too quick. Oh, goodness, guys. It's beautiful outside. You know, here where I live in the Midwest, it ping-pongs between temperatures. And even though it's beautiful outside, yesterday it was 75. Today, right now, it is 35 degrees. 35 degrees. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, D2 wasn't like that? Right. Yeah. I totally. I think that all these ARPGs chased PoE 1 due to its success. I think D4 takes a lot from PoE 1 in terms of gameplay pace, in my opinion. Which, by the way, you guys, don't come at, please don't hunt me, okay? But let me know in the comments if you're gonna be like me. Right now, I'm finishing up No Rest for the Wicked, my first playthrough of it. Absolutely love the game. It's given me such a broader view on the genre, on games. I need to play more games, guys. I need to play different games. I can't just be set in stone with PoE 2. So this break has been kind of good. Lovely game. I think my dad has been playing Diablo 4. He loves it. I think I might play the new expansion if PoE 2 is like not coming out until like May 8th or later, May 15th. I think I'm going to play the new expansion and give it a go. Anybody else playing it? And yeah, I swapped from, I made a new character on No Rest for the Wicked. Remember, I was doing the Great Sword Claymore build for the longest time. I made a new character, went double daggers. Guys, why did I choose Great Swords as my opening weapon? Why am I using a Claymore? It's night and day, okay? Sure, the Great Sword was cool. It made me fall in love with the game. But double daggers, guys, oh my gosh, I'm able to maneuver throughout the game so much easier. I literally got to level 10 in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Crazy. Yeah, Nico, it's Fahrenheit where I am. Yeah. No, yeah, it's not Celsius, it's Fahrenheit, guys. I'm doing well, ZX Swan. How are you doing, man? Grim Dawn's the king of slow. No Rest for the Wicked is amazing. Can't wait for more content there. Me too. Now, I haven't finished it. So, you know, I haven't experienced all the content yet. The farthest I have got is I'm in the Woodlands and the Lowland Meadows. So I'm in like the Corrupted Wood and the Lowland Meadows. I'm like level 20. I think I'm level 20 on my highest level character. I know how much it hates it gets, but I love Diablo 3. I never played a lot of Diablo 3. Never playing Diablo 4 again. I'm going to give it a go. You like my orange color? Hey, Morph Dude, thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't take a shower this morning. Okay? I also didn't change for my clothes from yesterday. And I did go out to a bar yesterday. Did not drink. So if you recognize me in this orange, you know, you saw me at the bar with my wife and our church group. We went foaling yesterday. Anybody know what foaling is? Anybody? Anybody in the chat? It's actually pretty rad, okay? Don't diss it before you try it. It is using a football to bowl. Ooh, it's pretty sick, okay? You take turns tossing football at a row of bowling pins, 9 bowling pins, and when the ball hits the ground, it's live. So it can bounce around, it can knock over the pins, balls from other lanes can come and hit your pins over. So it's the game of offense, we were throwing it, and then it's the game of defense of when the ball hits the ground, it's live. So you got to defend your pins. It's really, really fun. An American football. So it's an American football. Yep. What's next? Playing football with a bowling ball? Hey, man. I feel like there'd be a lot more brain injuries if we did that, and there's already way too many. D4 new expansion is the first time I've considered playing since launch. I tried the other expansion. I tried season 6, but I never played very long. That sounds something like my 6-year-old self would come up with, but man, just because your 6-year-old self would come up with it doesn't mean that it would not be ridiculously fun, and it is so much fun. Why am I up so early? To do a pod with MisoxShiru. Okay, and I did not drink. We weren't having beer. So I can imagine if we were drinking beer. I don't even drink beer. I don't know why I said that. If I was sipping a margarita or a Long Island iced tea, that would be so much more fun, you guys. Hey, Saber, what's happening, man? I appreciated your comment on my unhinged toxic try video. You guys, hey, GGG could, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What is GGG cooking here, okay? What's going on? Everybody expected news about 0.5 by now. They have been silent since February. Everybody remembers in February, they officially said on their own website and not on some Chinese video on Bilibili that 0.5 is going to be pretty huge. I think they said pretty huge, not pretty massive. Yeah, pretty huge. And we will reveal our full plans at the end of April or late April. I think it's the end of April. And obviously there's been nothing. Now everybody's freaking out for one big reason, you guys. 2 big reasons. 1, people are like addicted to Path of Exile 2 and they need their fix. They're like, what is going on? This is crazy. I want the new update in this game. I need the new update in this game. I can't live anymore. I need this. 2, because GGG usually do the whole meme, okay? The announcement of the announcement of the announcement. Okay? It's true. They do this all the time. They have groomed their audience to expect the announcement of the announcement of the announcement. And guess what? That hasn't happened. So now people are thinking, oh my goodness, there's no announcement of the announcement of the announcement. So that means this patch must be delayed. There's no way it's coming out on May 1st. Totally agree. I don't think it's coming out on May 1st. There's no way it's coming out on May 8th. I disagree. I think it's going to drop on May 8th. They're going to do a 3-week teaser season. So we are going to get a teaser next week. The week after that, we're going to get the reveal. And then the week after that is the release on May 8th. Now, here's what they've also been doing when they have a class involved. They actually start it, a little bit earlier than usual, okay? They do the class teaser first, and then they do the league teaser, okay, a week later. And then the week after that is the reveal stream, and the week after that is the reveal. And here's what that means, guys. There's going to be a league. You know what that probably means from my perspective? Unless they're completely changing how they're doing the marketing. Should we pour one out for the duelist, guys? I don't think we're going to get the duelist. I don't think we're going to get a class. I also heard somebody say they're just going to shadow drop it, which would not make sense unless they shadow dropped the shadow. Right? I literally hear a phone ringing, but my phone isn't ringing and my wife's phone isn't ringing. Is there another phone inside my house? That's not good. I don't recognize this ringtone. My window isn't open. I literally hear a phone ringing, guys. This is terrifying. So does anybody disagree? Like, I think it's May 8th. I think it's May 8th. And honestly, if there's a delay, it will be a shame. Okay. I won't lie, because we all remember last April. I remember it vividly because it was like the best thing that could have happened for my interview with Jonathan. Jonathan's like, you know what? We've been locking content too long. We're locking dates from now on. So we're going to consistently be releasing updates every 4 months for PoE 2 and every 4 months for Path of Exile 1. And it sucks to say that really hasn't happened. They've kind of been pushing the envelope the entire time. But this, if there was a delay from April to May to June, or even April to May, that's 5 months. April to June, 6 months. That really sucks. But my opinion is, let them cook. It will be unfortunate. I know a lot of people will be upset. They will be going back on that promise that they made just a year ago. But honestly, just let them cook. If they think it's literally not ready, why ship it? Why create another firestorm of a patch, essentially, is my point of view. We're far past the treat it like an early access game. It's a full release game, and if they don't want to release an expansion because they think it's not ready, don't do it. There must be problems. Hey, thanks for the $5, Free Ben Die Free. Nice name. Swords, more melee weapons in general, more important than another class. But they always wrap them together, brother. They wrap classes with weapons. I totally agree. I want more melee weapons. I am a melee dude. I recently just listened to another set of interviews from Jonathan from a long time ago where he's like, yeah, we built PoE 2 originally because we wanted to make melee feel better. That was the big thing, because we wanted to update the melee animations, and to make melee feel better, we had to update the rigs. And PoE 2 just ballooned out from that in scope. And we have spears, that's melee, right? Partially melee. We have quarterstabs, we have unarmed, and we have maces, and now we have the shape-shifting forms. I think quarterstabs and shape-shifting forms actually feel pretty good. I think all the melee skills feel pretty good, except I'm just not the biggest fan of maces because I just think it's too slow for how the game is designed. The best time to release Swords and 1.0, or sorry, the best time to release the Duelist and Swords 1.0 marketing-wise makes the most sense. Game goes free, all the X, the Swords, that'll be pretty huge. Most players come back. Yeah. If they want to focus on the marketing and the hype, yeah, you're probably right. So that's at the end of this year. It is. The end game must have been so near completion. It's insane. People think it's the only thing coming. We say that, James Reed. We say that. What's the text on my mug today? Oh my. Uh-oh. Mrs. Right. Well, that's what happens when you just grab a mug and you don't give a crap what it says on it. Got a heart on it too. Pretty cool, guys. I'll just hold this up. More dev interviews, in my opinion. Let's go. Well, Saber, I've asked to not only interview Jonathan and Mark. Oh, okay. Here's the other thing that kind of sucks, guys. So, yeah, okay. Gazzy also said this on his stream, so you know I feel comfortable saying it too. I asked for an interview for 0.5 for Jonathan and Mark, Jonathan or Mark, right? As I always do. And usually, guys, they get back to me about a month or more out to schedule the date because they do it in advance. They like to plan, right? Well, they said, hey, try, you know, sounds good. We'll get back to you closer to the date. That was 3 weeks ago, and I've heard nothing. So there's two options here. One, I could just not be getting a dev interview. That's pretty likely. Okay, honestly. We've had a good run every single patch so far. Cheers. Or what's also likely is maybe there's a little bit of a delay. Maybe we're not close to the date. So I don't know, guys. I have asked for more dev interviews, like for, you know, the skill designers, animation team. I kind of asked for the interviews that they're doing themselves and posting on their YouTube channel that are pretty awesome. But you know. Yeah, it was a good run. I have not talked with Thomas Mahler yet. I can't talk with him until I beat his game and play the end game. For as much as people say I don't play Path of Exile 2, I do play quite a bit, I think, and I need to play the game to talk to the devs. The most unprepared I ever felt for an interview was my last Epoch interview with their game director and some of their devs, and I prepped to the moon for that, and people freaking loved that interview. People loved it. During Tombs of the Erased, I got the most positive feedback for that interview that I've ever got. For that. Crazy. Hey, Off Meta Michael. The GGG devs are bus. Is that some sort of street slang? I don't know what bus is. Is that like busy? Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There we go. How you doing, Michael? Hey, it's early for you too, right? Can you get Zaki, the guy that bounces bosses again? I think Jungroan should interview Zaki. No, Gigasol, Chadman good. They could pull a Destiny 2 and not announce a delay until a week before the update, and it ends up being 3 months plus delayed. Please no, though. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. Yep, Barthius, that's basically what I think. Teaser, 24th of April. Showcase, 1st of May. League start, 8th of May. Except, I think that the reveal stream will be the 30th of April. Not the 1st of May. They always do it on a Thursday in the US. Thanks for the follows, you guys. Arthur, my man, it is 6:26 on a Sunday. 6:26 on a Sunday. I've got church in a couple hours. We're going to do this pod. It's going to be good. Good morning, Squezzy. They might want to get a different streamer's perspective. Please. Please. I would love that, my man. I think the more dev interviews, the better. It's obviously harder for grinding your games. So, I personally thought Jungroan's interview was great of the PoE 1 devs. I liked Zizarin's interview. There are very few interviews that I don't like. It's just always good to get more insight from the developers, I think. Selfishly, I like doing it too. Not gonna lie, right? But it's just always good to watch their chats. I really, guys, if you haven't, subscribe to Chris Wilson's YouTube channel. That's probably the best YouTube channel for gamers out there right now. His chat with Thomas Mahler, oh my gosh, what a talk! And Thomas, he's good. Chris is great though. I gotta say, the way Chris lays out stuff, oh, oh, it's just, it's uncanny. Just came back from church myself. It's 11:27 a.m. for you. Yeah, our service starts at 10:30 and it goes until about 11:45. And then we play basketball a bit outside, and then we go to lunch. So, in Brazil at 7 a.m., we're not too far. Yeah, an hour off. About. Yeah, that was incredible. To be frank, part of the reason Melee feels bad is because they're competing against Blaster ranged builds. I really like how they all play as standalone. Yeah, I do think that is one of the big problems. It's just the disparity and how safe you are as a ranged build as opposed to Melee. It's kind of funny. What kind of church? Non-denominational Christian is what I go to. Not like an evangelist church or any of that. It's like a gospel loving, Bible preaching church. We just like analyze Bible verses and sing a couple songs. Okay. Let's see here, guys. We got about 30 minutes until the pod with Miso. All right. So let's see why we're having the pod with Miso. We don't have news yet. No. I'm sad I didn't get to chat to Chris the couple times I was at events with him pre his YouTube days. Well, now, Saber, you gotta just get on his YouTube channel. Just be like, Chris, I need an interview. Here's where we can find the copium. I think it's going to be May 8th. I just think GGG's being a little quiet. They're not doing the usual announcement of the announcement. All right, guys. So. Yeah, Miso. Yeah. Miso's playing the game. I yap about the game. It was so funny. So we were out at dinner last night, my wife and I, with a couple other couples. We were doing like a quadruple date. And one of the guys is like, okay, so your streams, right? You're going to stream tomorrow, you said? I was like, yeah, I'm streaming tomorrow early in the morning. It's like, okay, so do you play the game? And I was like, right now, I had to explain to him stalling season, right? And how during stalling season, I primarily talk about the game and then I blast the game. I play a ton of the game upon the update's release. And apparently my wife made, like, she told me after, she's like, try it, you made it sound like you never play the game and that you only talk about the game. And I was like, oh, did I do that? Is that what I sound like, sweetie? Oh my goodness. And I guess I might have confused him. So I know she got a point. She got a point, right? No, hey, I understand that I'm more of a, I'm more of a football commentator than a football player, even though, I do get on the field and play a decent chunk, in my opinion. I don't play nearly as much as other, commentators, but I do play. Gardisto with the 26 months. Holy crap. How many level 100 characters do I have? Let's lay out a couple things here, guys. Okay, people who don't play PoE just wouldn't understand. It's always 1 month of playing followed by 3 months of yapping, lol. Well, yeah, pretty much. That's what I do. Here, in Path of Exile 1, I think I have like 6 level 100 characters. But in Path of Exile 1, it's kind of a joke to get to level 100. Let's be real, guys. In Path of Exile 2, 0 level 100 characters. Here's some other stats. I've never looted a Mirror of Kalandra. I've never gained a Mirror of Kalandra. I've never had 1,000+ divine orbs in my stash before. What else have I never done that kind of takes away from my cred? I haven't killed every single Uber in Path of Exile 1. I've only killed five Ubers, 5 out of the 7 Ubers. Oh, and I haven't killed the Uber incarnation of Dread, blah, blah, blah. I haven't done that. What else to take away from my Path of Exile cred? I once said that spell totems were the most powerful way to cast spells in Path of Exile 1. When what I actually meant was they are the safest, and they encourage, brain rot gameplay of cast on ground, run in circles. I should have said that. That would have gone way better if I was like totems in Path of Exile 1. Am I right? They kind of just encourage you to do numbskull gameplay. That would have been good. What else? How about this? I have 1 kid, 2 kids. Oh, I haven't told you guys. Remember, some of you may know, I haven't made an announcement on my YouTube channel yet. I'm going to do it in the next news video. Some of you may know I'm having a 3rd child. Okay. They are arriving in October of this year, right before ExileCon. Literally 2 weeks is the due date before ExileCon. So my wife isn't going to ExileCon anymore. My brother is coming with me instead. I will be going as long as the baby is okay. I have 2 girls right now, guys. Can I get a guess of what we're having with the 3rd kid? Because we found out last week. Oh, let's see. What do people think? A PoE boy? A barbarian? Amazing. Yeah, all children come out barbarians, brother. Yep. Another girl. A 3rd girl. Girl. Cat. I'm not having a cat. A Templar. Maybe. I am now religious, so maybe that's how it works. Flows from my veins to theirs. Girl, sorceress, stretch. I literally was stretching before you even did anything, Huevesco. GGG, a girl. All right. Yeah, I see like 95% are like another girl. Yeah, I'm having another girl. 3 girls! 3 girls! What? So my house is going to be 4 women and 1 man. So yeah, I'm pretty outnumbered. Okay. I thought I was finally gonna have a boy. Guys, they better like some of the more masculine things. Okay? Like, my audience is 99.1% men. One of them has to like Path of Exile 2 or ARPGs. They have to like watching Lord of the Rings, reading the books. Like, please. I mean, right now they both kind of like dragons and they like fantasy, so they seem to enjoy rolling dice when I play D&D. Like, they'll come and roll dice with me, so I'm really hoping that I can kind of like influence now. I hope that I can influence them to enjoy these sort of things and not totally be like, I'm not touching this stuff. I do not know what that is, Darksider. Are you doing the Erickson secret technique to guarantee a boy from How I Met Your Mother? No, because I'm not having a boy. Yeah, I've only got girls in the chamber, honestly. Hey, love your positivity and enthusiasm. Got rage baited from time to time from your takes, but love your content nonetheless. I appreciate it, man. I never mean to rage bait, okay? I think what you mean is you just get upset at my takes and disagree with me strongly. I really don't ever mean to rage bait. I don't. Unless I'm Toxic Try, which I have another Toxic Try video coming out. I think it's today on my 2nd channel. Does anybody know what comedian I'm trying to embody? I mean, I'm just going to say, I'm trying to embody Tim Dillon. I don't know if anybody knows who Tim Dillon is, but he does a show every single week, and I'm literally trying to like embody his style of comedy. You know, with the glasses, with the hat, you know, with the shades, literally like looking at the camera. I don't know. It's really hard. I'm not a comedian, but I'm gonna try to do that because I have lots of fun doing it and I make myself laugh. So, and it seemed like quite a few people thought it was funny too. So there's a 2nd channel. Yeah, there's a 2nd channel. I have a 2nd channel. I've been posting a lot on my 2nd channel. What is it called? Called Extras? Yeah. No, it's I have to change the link. I changed the name of the channel. This is the channel name. tries. It has my No Rest for the Wicked videos, which will be moving to the main channel. It has my reactions, and it has my my comedy bit. Me and my daughter just finished Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit last night, and I played D&D with her too, and she's building Lord of the Rings in Minecraft. There is hope. Another Zeo. Let's go. Yes. Tim Dillon. Oh, you mean the news? Yeah. I mean, I can't wait until I drop, Rutu, friend of the show, Rutu. What did he do a couple weeks ago? Yeah, Baal, friend of the show, Baal. Oh my goodness gracious. That's what opinion is. No, everyone never agrees. Yes, and just because you don't agree doesn't mean you gotta get rage baited or anything like that. Just say you don't agree. Don't say this is rage bait. Oh. Straight of Hermoose, friend of the show, Straight of Hermoose. Yeah. I mean, I've seen that joke too, Turtle Theory, the Straight of Hermoose. Why is it straight? What's wrong with it being the straight? Yeah, I mean, his show is excellent. The news. I tried to show my wife the one. This is getting dangerously close. The one about Pam Bondi getting fired, where he puts on the fake boobs, and he constantly is like jumping up and down throughout the show, and he's complaining. He's like, oh my God, my back hurts. This is actually like, oh gosh, so good. Oh, thanks, Bruce Leon. Yeah, it's good. Okay, all right. We're back to the PoE. Okay, that was a brief political interlude. Let's go back to the Path of Exile. So, the reason I'm having the pod with MisoxShiru is I can't get Tim Dillon's face out of my head now. The reason that that's the wrong one. Monitor. There we go. The reason we're having the pod with Miso is it's this video. Jonathan speaks about the vision. All right. This was like a direct almost response video to me talking about the vision as I saw it with Jonathan. And it was almost, I mean, honestly, the way I saw it was he was kind of misrepresenting my perspective to his audience, in my opinion. So I immediately was like, I got to get him on the podcast. Let's talk one-on-one because this is kind of crazy. In it, he essentially talks about like Jonathan has always wanted the game to be screen cleary and you to do that in PoE 2, and how people, and come on, I know he's referencing me in the video because I'm releasing a ton of videos about this lately, right? And everybody's reacting to them. Have said that this is, it was never in the vision. The game is meant to be slow. They want more meaningful blah, 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 right? And I totally disagree. In my video, I literally say you should be able to screen clear. The problem is it happens too fast, right? Combat becomes trivial too quickly. That was the entire point of my initial video essay. Now, what I hadn't watched was this initial one, which is 5 minutes long, and we're going to react to it here on the channel right before the podcast. I was with Miso there. Saw it kind of the same. Hate you going to run the remote. I don't know what that means, but you were with screen clear slower isn't screen clear. Screen clear slower isn't screen clear. Screen clear slower isn't screen clear. What? I don't understand that, honestly. When I clearly say this is what's going to happen. You're going to eventually be able to screen clear. Like that is the end progression of your character. I'm explicitly saying you should be able to do this. I guess but it was framed as you should never be able to do this. And it should be like No Rest of the Wicked. Totally disagree on that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should not be able to reach screen clear as quickly. That's what I mean. So, guy's never winning another argument in his life again. I don't know, man. I don't know. This patch, maybe. All right. 0.3. Let's listen to this video. Let's see. If I have to fight all rares like 15 seconds, then I don't screen clear, is what I meant. But yeah, I guess right. My point is, at the end of your character's progression, the game will be trivial near the end of it, right? Right now, you're getting into maps, and a T1 map feels the same as a T15 map when your build even comes online a little bit. Who is sitting there actually fighting and engaging with the monsters in endgame? Come on, let's be real. The hit points are a joke. The damage in a lot of cases are a joke. You're just blowing up crap, and you are incentivized to do it because of the mechanics that are in Path of Exile 2. Abyss, Breach, Ritual, Expedition, literally all of them incentivize you needing to be able to do this. If you do not have a build capable of this, you do not have a build capable of playing Path of Exile 2 right now. Let's be real. And I'm only really talking about this because I went back and I played all these other games and I realized, oh my goodness, they're all kind of samey. What is going on? At Talkative Try, who wants to engage with monsters? I do. I think we're missing an important middle ground in which you transitioned from needing to engage to blowing stuff up. It is the same as it was in 0.1. It is literally the same. It has been a problem since day one. I think some of us, including myself, have been saying this since day one, and we thought we were going to go in a different direction where it smooths out. In fact, it's gotten worse, in which you get more powerful quicker, and everything is less trivialized faster. I guess I should have been beating the drum louder this whole time. I only really realized it until when I went back and I played Path of Exile 1 again for a whole week, got 36 challenges, played No Rest for the Wicked, played Diablo 2, played these other games, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Path of Exile 2 in less than a year basically has the level of power creep that PoE 1 has had across 15. Guys, anybody who's saying that's not the case, come on. That's so true. That is so true. So true. Game is power crept already. All right. Gonna be hard to embody Tim Dillon and also not like beer. I can't do beer, dude. I just can't. I can't. I agree with you. You have such cool design for monsters and don't even have time to see them. Why have 500 plus monsters and then not care about what the monsters do? Oh, yeah. All right, so here we go. I'll start for the reaction. Okay, so has Path of Exile 2 already lost its vision? I think this is a reaction to my video. Path of Exile 2 must make a stand, and it's Miso responding to a part of it. Let's see. This patch 0.3 almost completely killed the more intentional gameplay vision that so many people, including myself, expected from Path of Exile 2. Abyss, super fun, but it forced builds to be able to screen clear and screen clear quickly. Yeah.
Again, I do not think that this is true.
How is this not true, Miso? How is this not true? Come on. Okay, I need to hear what he means by this. Right before we talk to him, remember, we're talking to Miso in 15 minutes. How is this not true?
Jonathan's original vision was that the game was going to be relatively fast. I think there was...
That is true. That is true.
There's no avoiding, and that's what ARPG players do want to do. Even if you stem...
And that is what... Okay, I think that is such a monolithic point of view. That is what ARPG players want to do. I think there's nuance to this conversation. I think there's room for more different types of ARPG in the isometric genre, aside from zoom, zoom, screen clear, blast, blast, very fast in the game. I think that even has room in this game, but there needs to be a progression to that. I feel like there is not a progression. I mean, some people also are advocating for a campaign skip. So you would entirely just skip out that point of progression and just go to blasting immediately.
All the way back to Diablo 2, like the best builds, what builds people wanted to aim for were builds that could clear a lot of mobs at once. Maybe it's not like blow up the entire screen big, but people were chasing for this, like, hey, clearing things as fast as possible has always been the MO for ARPGs.
Okay, did you hear what Miso said there? Did you hear what Miso said? Keyword, chasing.
Entire screen big, but people were chasing for this, like, hey,
Chasing. Not base game. I agree. Chasing. This should be aspirational. I don't think this should be just a, literally any old build, essentially, we'll be able to do this. That's kind of how it is in PoE 2. Unless the skill is complete dog, this skill can blow up the screen. It's not a chase. It really isn't. The chase becomes literally being able to like teleport from place to place. Like Temporalis is the real chase in PoE 2. That's the aspirational, right? How many players get it a league? 500, 600, 1,000? Less, maybe? I don't know. That's the aspirational. I think that's... I think the aspirational aspect of the game should be a little bit more than your Temporalises, right?
Clearing things as fast as possible has always been the MO for ARPGs.
But it also doesn't need to always be the MO. My other big thing is PoE 2 was meant to be different. They stated as much. They were going to change the way combat felt. It was supposed to be next gen. I know that he looked up some interviews where Jonathan was like, where a veteran player is like, we'll be able to screen clear and zoom. And Jonathan's like, oh, yeah. You can eventually do it, but it's going to look a little differently, right? And the journey there will be different. The whole problem is it doesn't really look any different, and the journey there isn't really all that different either, in my opinion.
Always been, hey, I want to gear my character. I want to make it strong. I want to make content trivial. I want to be able to farm loot as fast as possible. That is the essence of an ARPG, and I think that any ARPG that steps away from that is kind of stepping away from it being an ARPG in general. Like, I know there's No Rest for the Wicked that people always point out. It's like, hey, here's an ARPG that's like, not really that fast and zoomy.
Okay. This is the fun. When you do this, when you go from one extreme to the other, there's an entire middle ground that you're missing, and that's what I'm fighting for. I do not want Path of Exile 2 to be No Rest for the Wicked. I don't. That does really well having its own distinct vision and standing out in the RPG genre. And I think he argues that it's not even an RPG. I would argue that it is. Has random-based loot, okay? Isometric, right? It has all the things that he just described there, except one thing. The zoom. It doesn't necessarily have the zoom.
I played No Rest of the Wicked. I did not like it because I don't think it felt it. I would describe it as, because they describe it as an ARPG that is like very Souls-like, right? There's Souls-like combat, Souls-like ARPG. But I would say it's not ARPG enough to be an ARPG, and it's not Souls-like enough to be like a Souls-like. And that...
Okay. So here, it sounds like what I'm hearing is, don't innovate. Don't take risks. Don't try something new. Don't go outside the confines of the game. That's why I think that's one of the big reasons I disagree. I think that they should do that. They should take risks. They should innovate. Obviously, that's what No Rest for the Wicked did. Don't just stay within your genre just because it's safe, and that's because what you want, and because you don't like that. They should be trying new things. I think they should be trying new things and trying to gain a new audience, and also trying to please that existing audience, right? Push the boundaries of it. I think PoE 2 is playing it very safe, okay? And I say this after playing all these other games and getting a little bit more experience. It just feels very safe to me.
That's why I don't like playing No Rest of the Wicked, because it doesn't feel like it really caters to either audience. If you're making an ARPG and you want to cater to the ARPG audience, you're gonna have to make it so that you're gonna be able to farm super fast, blow up big mobs, go fast, zoom, right? That's just how it is.
You can make that, but there can be a better path to that. I think that's the whole argument. I think that's where we're kind of like talking past each other, which is why I wanted him on the podcast.
The ceiling of zoom, however, you can decide what you want, because the ceiling of PoE 1 zoom is way higher than PoE 2. But at the same time, I would not say that PoE 2 is slow. And that's what a lot of people are saying right now. And I think it's kind of ironic as well. And maybe it's a different community, right? Maybe Try has never been at that community that was like, I think the game needs to go faster, right? He probably wasn't.
I have been in this community. Miso, brother, I have talked about this for so long. I have been in this community. I know people have been asking for the game to go faster. I haven't been one of those people. What
But it's interesting because I feel like the prevalent conversation for the majority of PoE2's existence has been that PoE2 is a little bit too slow. And it's interesting.
No, I disagree. I think the primary narrative has been that some skills are slow, like maces. What is slow about playing Lightning Arrow? What was slow about Lightning Spear? What is slow about Hollow Palm Monk? What is slow about the Gemling Legionnaire of 0.1? There are so many fast builds in this game. I think that's a crazy take. I feel like one archetype is slow, and it's maces. Everything else in the confines of PoE2 is fast. It's very fast. Like, the game is so fast.
Seeing like these little bits and pieces, these pockets where people are kind of pushing back right now and being like, whoa, guys, why are we making it so fast? It's a little bit too fast for me right now. So I find it really interesting that we're kind of having this conversation pop.
Okay, but that's not the point. That's why I'm so confused. This is a reaction to a broader video. And in the video, I say it's fine to be fast. It's that the way you're getting there is way too quick. I'm so confused, Miso. That's why I'm having you on the pod, because I am so confused how this is what you took from my video. I rewatched my video yesterday, and I literally say 2 minutes before this, you should be able to screen clear. Screen clearing is an important part of the game. Jonathan's always thought this. I think this should be possible. But the journey there is way too quick. It almost occurs in the campaign at this point, when back in 0.1, it happened in the end game, early end game. I think that should just be, your character's progression should be longer. So I don't understand why he's thinking I'm saying the game should be super slow. I'm not saying that. My primary argument is I want to engage in the game. I don't want to simply run around blasting packs, having them blow up like a loot pinata. I want to see the different monsters, and I want to be able to dodge their abilities. I want to, like, I don't know what is, I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over, but it's so basic. That's all I'm asking for. I'm just asking for the game to not be so trivial so quick. That is what I'm asking for. That is the essence. So that is why I'm talking to him in 5 minutes.
Well, and it's not just try, though. The thing is, it's not just try. Other people are kind of saying this as well. Like, I've heard other people talking about it. Maybe Try's the loudest one or the biggest content creator talking about it, but I've definitely heard other people say this and kind of share a similar sentiment. But I don't think that the game was ever supposed to be a not screen clear game. I think that since day one, it was supposed to be, hey, at some point, I'm going to be able to press a button and the screen's going to explode.
Yes!
Maybe you could make an argument that it gets there too early or too fast.
Miso! That is what this video is doing! Miso, this entire video, the thesis is exactly what you just said. I hate reactions. I hate Maybe he was baiting me into watching this video and inviting him on the podcast. But that is the exact point of this whole video. It's a 14-minute video, and that is the thesis statement. I'm not even kidding. That is the thesis statement of my video. What he just said, and he's acting like it's a novel idea. Miso! Miso!
Maybe you can make an argument saying that, hey, you should need a little bit more gear to get to this point. Sure, right? We can make that argument. But I don't think there's ever an argument saying that the game was never supposed to be at some point where you can just press a button and explode the entire screen. I do think, however, bossing is a little bit too non-intentional. I don't know. We do kill bosses way too fast right now. If you guys have played Path of Exile 1, you'll know that the uber bosses, the pinnacle bosses, they take a long time, and you're going to see their mechanics. In Path of Exile 2, you just blow that boss up in one shot. You'll see.
Totally agree with him here, too. PoE 1 ubers far outshine the PoE 2 bosses and ubers. Like, you actually have to engage with a variety of mechanics. They're so much more intentional in PoE 1. Totally agree with him here, too. I mean, like, we agree. That's why I'm confused what happened here, because we 100% agree. So why is it framed as like, yeah, dunking on try? No!
Any mechanics. And it's funny how Path of Exile 1 is supposed to be the zoomy game, and Path of Exile 2 is supposed to be the bossing game. But meanwhile, Path of Exile 1 is more of a bossing game than Path of Exile 2 is. So I think there really is a misalignment there, and there needs to be a big change there. The screen clear stuff, mapping stuff, keep it fast, right? We all want that to be fast. But I think there's a conversation to be had with bossing, and that bossing should be a little bit more intense.
You are flip-flopping. You flip-flopper. What are you doing? Miso, this is a 5-minute clip. This is a 5-minute clip. You're oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Miso. This is peak stalling season. What do you mean keep it the way it is, the screen clearing? I thought there's a conversation to be had about getting there too fast.
The gameplay there should take more than 2 seconds, and we should be going around and trying to dodge skills, do mechanics and things like that, because I think that is more of what at least the game engine is kind of built around. So yeah, like at some point, right, maybe you're gonna get strong enough to be able to one-shot the boss. I'm not saying we shouldn't be able to one-shot the boss, but right now every meta build is able to one-shot bosses very easily and very early on.
Problem.
Like, you don't need crazy funding to like kill a boss in 2 to 5 seconds. You really don't.
And that's my point with also blowing up monsters. That's the point. That's my point. Boom.
But I think that that's a little bit too easy. So I think keep it, but maybe just for like the ceiling characters. And if you're like less geared, you gotta deal with some mechanics, man. That's just what the game is made around.
Miso is literally making my argument. So we're going to get Miso on literally now. And if you like that react, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Okay, we're literally... All right, it's time to get Miso on. Let me knock on Twitch. Let's see. Let's knocky. Whoa, we got a lot of viewers on Twitch. Hello, Twitch people. We have like 500 total viewers across both streams. Hello, everybody on Twitch. Oh my goodness. Wow. Let's get how do I knock Miso? Let's get knock. Mute. And how do I share chat? Share chat. Oh, he's got to accept first. Okay. Wow, yeah. We got almost 600 people across both streams. Sorry. Wow, hey, Fat Pandolf, what's happening, man? What do you mean Miso got the point? Of course Miso has a point. We have the same point. That's why I'm confused. I'm so confused. All right, let me get my headset on. Hey, Blue Saw, what's happening, man? I did buy the PoE 2 early access because it was advertised as different and more focused on combat, and I still have a little bit of hope, just a little. But sure, I also don't want it to be like No Rest for the Wicked like ARPG. Hell no. Exactly. Heck no, dude. Please no. No Rest for the Wicked. Where's Miso? I knockered. All right, let me get that. Oh, we're good. He accepted. I see. How do I share chat again? Where's the share? There it is. Start sharing chat. There we go. All right. Hello, Miso's chat. Hi, Miso chat. What's going on? Okay, let me get the show notes up and running. Where are they? There they are. Good. All right. Okay. I think we're set. Still saying podcast. Not Blazeworks TV. Nah, we got Miso here. MisoxShiru. Okay, get them all centered up here. That center? Oh, looks center. Where were you when the Fire Nation attacked? Indeed. Okay. Let's see. Miso, tell him, please. I'm pretty sure Miso and I agree. I'm going to run ads really quick, guys, so that Twitch doesn't screw you guys. So we won't start the pod until the ads are over. We're running ads now on Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. Is your room soundproof? No. No, but my girls are awake. I heard them get up. Got to rename that podcast after your reaction to his reaction. This guy, it says PM. What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Chat is gone. Chat is gone. All right. Ready for... Oh. It's his partner anniversary? Oh, Miso's is... Wait, Miso's is PM or mine is PM? No, mine isn't PM. All right, start virtual camera. Yeah. People might not have heard me. Thank you. Thank you for the sub, Febo. Oh, thanks for the sub, Fat Pandal, for 9 months. I didn't see that. Oh, thank you, guys. All right. I'm waiting for Miso to say I'm good to call. Get chat up here. Get that here. Chat's there. Miso's here. Oh, he's ready. Oh, sick. Okay. All right. Where is the video call? There it is. Where is video call? Pop pop. Full screen it. Hide members.
Give me 1 moment.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, because you're streaming. You gotta just edit the camera source thingy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yep.
How's Spiral Volley? I hear you're on tier 12 maps.
It's all right. It's all right.
Are you doing the Prada's build?
No, it's my build.
Oh, different
that
build?
I made
Okay.
a while back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Let's see.
Amber, go to mom. Go down to mom. Mom's downstairs, okay?
Okay, that works.
I'm streaming. You can't come over here. I love you.
Okay, there it is. And we need to set my lights back to default.
I know. I'm streaming. That's why I'm being a little loud. Sorry. Did I wake you up? Okay. Yeah, could you close the door, sweetheart? You want Zosha to come out? Zosha's probably gonna stay in here with me. So go downstairs. I think your mom and Chloe are downstairs. 1 second. Sorry, Miso.
Oh, all good. All good.
Let me go get her. Amber sweet.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait for Mr. Talkative Try. Guess we'll sit here and wait for Mr. Talkative Try. Kids in Miso stream not family friendly. Miso will never relate. I mean, look, never say never, right? But the likelihood of me relating is maybe a little bit low. Let's just say, maybe a little bit low. Teensy little bit low. That's maybe a little bit more than teensy weensy. I won't even give children's money. What does that mean? What does that mean? Are you saying if a kid came up to me and asked for money randomly, I wouldn't give them money? Of course. Why would I give a random kid money? Miso, I want your babies. I'm sorry, but those have been sold to the devil already. I already signed the
This
contract.
always happens, Miso. I'm pretty sure this happened on our first podcast at 0.3.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure my daughter like woke up and you had to like stall or something.
I don't think we did it at this time though. I think we did it at another time.
We did it at nighttime, I think.
Did we?
I thought so, right? Maybe.
I don't remember at this point. It was a while back.
It's like 5 p.m. your time. I usually do it at 8 p.m., but I don't have you here on stream. Let me get you. I have my brothers. So, I believe it's this one. Oh, perfect. Sick. All right. Then I think you're pretty carved out already.
All right.
And have chat on screen. That's good. Little engagement, little Subway Surfers for the YouTube video.
Ooh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, I do know some modern stuff, you know. That's what they do on TikTok, right? They have like Subway Surfers on the screen.
I think
people
so.
engaged.
So.
It's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's not good at all. They need to put Uma Mishume on the screen instead.
Ooh, there you go. You know the good stuff.
Yeah,
you know
the good stuff. Yeah, there you go. That works.
You know the good stuff.
All right, guys. How's Miso's voice levels, chat? Good? On my side? Ask Try why his content switched up so much from 0.3 to 0.4 became negative and rage bait. Are you kidding me? Is it good? Gladys? Good. Am I good on your end?
Yep.
Good? Okay. Sick. I will adjust you a tad. All right, we can go for about an hour. And yep, so we should be good. All right. Did you want to add anything else to the list? Or are we good? You can just improv it.
No, not really. I think we're good. I think I'm pretty good with the list.
All right, sick. Okay.
Like maybe something will come up in the
100%. Yeah.
Right?
All right. I'll do a little countdown and we will pop on in. 3, 2, 1. Hey Exiles, welcome to another episode of, it is the Still Sane podcast, but I think we're going to go for today with the Still Stalling podcast because we are 5 months into the lifespan of 0.4 and we have no news about 0.5. Unfortunately, I am here today with MisoxShiru to stall and discuss some interesting Path of Exile 2 vision questions. Miso, how you doing today, man?
Ooh, good. Just was streaming some PoE, playing my Spiral Volley Pathfinder on SSF, and having a good time. Just chilling with chat as usual. The homies, the real homies.
Very nice, very nice. And how is that build going so far? Lasting?
Good. Yeah, it's there was a little like survivability rise right now. It's kind of, but we're moving our way up to tier 15, and yeah. It's not quite like trade. I actually have never pushed a solo self-found character this far.
Okay.
So it's been a journey.
I think that I might try out solo self-found, but also hardcore for 0.5. Just to give it a go, like an honest go. Not I'll play this until I die, and then I'll just swap over to trade. Because it really to just get, like you said, kind of that new gameplay feel where everything matters a little bit more when it comes to items that you find, and you have to actually build defenses and everything in hardcore and like not die or you're not going to get any progress. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how far I get.
Yeah. This was the first time I ever played like hardcore solo self-found too, because I typically, not hardcore, regular solo self-found. I typically go and play hardcore solo self-found when I'm doing solo self-found.
Right. This was a little less stressful, essentially. You can
yeah. I mean, I've definitely died quite a bit more than you would on hardcore solo self-found. Like a lot. Let's say a lot more.
Okay. Well, before we get into the vision talk, Miso, I have to ask you, how dare you release fake patch notes on April 1st? Like, what was going through your mind when you decided to do this on your main channel, nonetheless? Okay, how could you?
I mean, you know what? I'm sorry. It's my bad. I didn't know it was against the rules to release an April Fool's video on April Fool's. You know, I didn't realize that.
What you don't realize is that not everybody lives in the United States, Miso. So it could be April 2nd in some places. Could have still, yeah. Like, come on.
At this time, I feel like look. Let's be real. everybody who's playing Path of Exile, it's not their first day on the internet, all right? We've all got a little bit of potentially some gray hairs on their head, or maybe no hairs on our head.
True.
And as a result, I feel like we've been around the block, and you should know that if it's April, like, or is it March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd, you gotta watch out. It doesn't matter. Any one of those days, because you never know about time zones.
It's the only day that I'll be good with, like, you know, rage bait. It's totally fine. Like, you did it so well, though. It was executed in a way, because I did it on my second channel, and I just did a Google Doc with kind of the same formatting as PoE. You literally edited, like, the web page. It looked so real, what you did. So I have to massively applaud you. Especially, like, the Righteous Fire Gem, dude. That was good. That was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really going back to the high school days where I would put some random websites on the library computers in high school and having people just walk in. It's like, wait, what the hell is this? I actually one time oh man, this was such a bad prank. I feel so bad kind of these days. He was really serious about, like, I don't know, being like just like an important person. So like we spoofed like this web page and sent it. It's like, wait a second, Tony, I think your name is on this like government official website. They said that they're honoring you with some sort of award. Oh. And he got like so happy, and he like printed it out and showed it to like his teacher or whatever. I'm like, no, it's just a prank, dude. It's just a prank. Stop.
Oh man. But you've been doing it for years. Okay. All right. What was your favorite part of the patch notes to write? Did you have any one that you were like, this is gonna get people fired up?
I mean, it had to be like the 6 portals and then going back into like, oh, we're gonna get rid of the Infinite Atlas and we're going into PoE 1 Atlas through and through. And it was funny because, like, I mean, I don't know, it was funny. Maybe it was kind of funny to me, but actually kind of sad. But seeing people be like, oh my god, thank goodness they're finally getting rid of the Infinite Atlas. Oh, I can't wait. I'm just like, oh no. It was a prank, guys. It's a prank.
I know. I scrolled through the comments, and a lot of people fell for it. A lot of people. The Righteous Fire reactions too, with the spending like endurance charges and basically killing yourself upon casting the spell. Like, I mean,
it was a direct quote from Pox. Oh. It was a direct quote from Pox.
Yeah.
He literally said, like, you know, oh yeah, when Righteous Fire comes out, it's gonna be like, oh, when you ignite an enemy, you die. I'm like, all right, just put this one in there.
We'll see. Maybe they'll take some inspiration. I'm sure some devs watch the fake patch notes to kind of get inspiration for how to write the 0.5 real patch notes, which still aren't here. And I have this at a different place in the show notes, but let's touch on it just quick.
Okay.
So my belief for 0.5 is we're still getting it May 8th. I don't think there's going to be like a delay or anything. I think they're just like doing the 3-week teaser schedule where next week we're going to get one little teaser, week after reveal, May 8th release. And they're just being really quiet about it. Do you think it's any different than that?
I am huffing a lot of copium, and I do think that it is going to be sometime this week, and we are going to be getting it on time. I keep saying to chat, like, you know what? Listen to this video right here from Sir Gog. He's the Poe GOAT. And if you don't believe him, who are you going to believe? And he says that there have been times in the past where they did release an update on May 8th, Monday, New Zealand time. So there's a chance that they still release it on Monday, New Zealand time. And even then, you know, if they could release it later this weekend, it'd still be fine.
Yeah. So hopefully it's coming. I think it'll be I don't think there's going to be a new class, because every time in PoE 2 that there's a new class added, they start the teaser season a little early. Like, they do the new class teaser, and then they do the league teaser, and then it's the reveal. So maybe, I'm sorry, I know you just released the Duelist video, which was great. I freaking love the comments of that video were also golden. Like, I'm Misoing my Shiro while watching this. I thought that was a really good one. I thought that was really good. But I think it might just be like league end game, and unfortunately no new weapon or class. Do you think that's make or break? Like, do you think that needs to come in the game essentially to really reinvigorate people's enjoyment of it?
I don't think it needs to come into the game, but I think that it's a case where they either need a new class or a new act, and I don't think they're adding a new act, because like what's gonna happen is a lot of the people who are more on the casual side might look at it and be like, "Oh, I'm probably not going to play this season," because going back on my experience, back when I was just a casual player in Path of Exile 1, if I didn't see an update with something that like new content that I liked, I just didn't play that season. And I think a lot of people who are on the casual side are looking for a new class or new story, like new act content to
Yeah.
play. And if they don't see either, then I don't think they're going to come back for this season at least. So that's why, for me, I think it's like imperative for them to come out with either one. Like, sure, it's early access. Sure, the real deal is a 1.0, but I do think that they do watch the numbers and do want to keep the numbers up and attract new players. Because if they didn't do that, like if they didn't care about that, they probably wouldn't have sponsored people throughout the leagues,
Right.
throughout 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, whatever it might be. I don't think that they would have if they didn't care about numbers.
Yeah, I totally agree. And they also probably don't want to be seen as like losing steam or momentum. They want to see that growing kind of going into 1.0. That's also why they're doing like the free to play weekends. They obviously want new players to pop in, right? And they're monetizing them too with supporter packs and mystery boxes. So yeah, I'm in agreement. That makes sense. The end game grab is going to get pretty much everybody who plays ARPGs to come back to the game. 100% chance who's played PoE 2. But they need that shiny new toy for the I'm going to play the campaign and maybe bounce folks, because they'll come in, they'll buy supporter packs. I know a couple people who are like that. So I'm in total agreement with you there. And Miso, let's move to our next topic. And this is going to be the bulk of the conversation. Okay. I think I agree with you on this too. And I'm a little confused. I just reacted to your first video, not the here's Jonathan's vision, but the Path of Exile 2 Fast. And I think we're in agreement on this, and it's kind of confusing me how people are coming like, oh, Cold War between Miso and Tri. Oh my gosh, there's some beef coming between Miso and Tri. Like even my brother, he's my brother, but he does like your content better than my content. He's like, yo, Miso's coming at you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Miso's coming at me. So I watch these videos and I look at the discussion and I feel like we agree, but are talking past each other. So that's why I invited you on the pod. And for people who aren't in the know, we're obviously talking about the whole, what was the original vision for Path of Exile 2 once it became a split out game? Was it supposed to be slow, no screen clear, meaningful all the way through? Or were you supposed to be able to screen clear and blast? And Miso and we're on the same side. I think that we should be able to screen clear and blast. However, my whole argument is, as you said very aptly in reaction, there might be a conversation that it happens too fast. So I wanted to open it up with that. But first, what did you think PoE 2 was going to be when you originally saw all the advertising, all the PR, the interviews with Jonathan, thinking the lead up from like 2023, 2024, and finally the release at the end of that year? What did you think it was going to be like? Did you think it was going to stand out from the other ARPGs, or did you think, okay, this is probably just going to be a better version of the existing batch, like Path of Exile 1?
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't have any expectations going into it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a weird one. And actually, funny enough, I actually did not pay attention to a lot of the lead up. I saw a couple teasers here and there, and then I just kind of hopped into it. I didn't I was not like on like, oh, I can't wait for this game. It was just kind of like oh, this game's out, let's go check it out type of situation.
Right.
Even though I did play a lot of PoE 1, at the time, I had sold my soul to Lost Ark. And with a game like Lost Ark, you can't play anything else. You can only play Lost Ark. You can't worry about anything else. So my mind was just mostly on Lost Ark at the time, and I didn't really have room for anything else.
Okay, and we'll do a little bit of a tangent here too, because I never played Lost Ark, but I watched some creators play it, and I know it's always been praised for its meaningful combat, like really rich combat experience, despite it's like pay to win aspects. And I think in a few interviews, like Jonathan almost said that he was inspired, especially with the boss fights, by Lost Ark a little bit too. Is that the case over there, or is it kind of blasty, like I don't really need to pay attention to the boss mechanics, I can kind of just tank everything? Or it's completely different?
It is complete. I mean, it's a MMO through and through.
Right.
So it's got MMO mechanics, like the raids are MMO raids. So it's like it's got one shots. It's got like if you don't do this mechanic correctly, your entire party is dead type of stuff.
Got
So you
it.
had to be locked in. Literally, in Lost Ark, one of the things that people hate the most about it is gatekeeping because everybody gatekeeps
Okay.
because it's just that high stakes where if somebody on your team is a laggard, they could cause your entire party to just wipe over and over and over again.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So it really embraces the party style gameplay where do or die mechanics, essentially, which honestly are not
Mhm.
in, PoE 2 at this point. What's the closest? Like Arbiter's balls and crap, but you can tank that, you can
Mhm.
overcome it. Okay, cool. Okay, so no expectations going in. I didn't know that. I thought you may have been following it, especially because you're a big PoE 1 player. So that's really interesting to know. I was the
No, at the
opposite.
time I wasn't. At the time I wasn't.
Okay, okay. I was the opposite. Like I was following all the press. I was fully bought in. I was getting all the challenges every PoE 1 league. I was watching every Jonathan interview. It was really just Jonathan doing interviews, and he went on some circuits. Like there were some times where he would do like 8 interviews in a month during the lead up to Path of Exile 2. He was talking to different content creators, people that played PoE, people that didn't touch PoE, games journalists, putting like I got a PC gamer article back here that's actually legit, not AI generated crap that they're putting out now. Like it's a good article, there was a lot of good content coming out, and I think upon doing like self-reflection, I really bought into like the marketing hype. I totally did. They were constantly talking about this game is next generation. It's an evolution of the genre. It's not like the past, where we made PoE 2 to fix melee combat from PoE 1 because we had to overhaul all the animation rigs for the characters and the monsters, and we had to add all these different variations of mobs. So you have to pay attention to the abilities they do. They don't just auto attack like in PoE 1. Right? All these different things. And I really, really, really bought into that. So when it came out, obviously, I think it really exhibited that in the campaign, and then it swapped in the end game. And it turned into another thing that we agree, where the combat, it's not meaningful. Like, you gave a great definition in one of your videos. You were like, I see meaningful combat as actually needing to look at what the monster does, dodge out of the way, and move on. Like, it's really, like, you can still have fast-paced and meaningful combat, I think. Would you agree? Like, it doesn't have to be one end of the spectrum, right? Where it's like no rest for the wicked, or I don't know, what's the fastest like Torchlight Infinite, I feel like is the fastest ARPG. Like those don't have to be the two
Maybe,
spectrums, You think
maybe.
maybe? I've just seen some gameplay
No,
and it
I
looks
was talking
dumb.
about the Torchlight Infinite stuff. I was talking about
Okay.
maybe it might be the fastest. I'm
Okay.
thinking. I feel like Path of Exile 1
Might
might
be.
still be the
Okay.
fastest.
Like it doesn't have to be on either end. I really don't think, and I feel like a lot of people, whether it be content creators, like talking to their audience, or like commenters, especially like people discussing, it's like it has to be one end of the spectrum. And I don't think that has to be the case. Do you think that there's like a middle ground that they could try to toe, or is that really hard to do in this game?
I don't think it's hard to do because I honestly think when it comes to so there's a couple things, right?
Yeah,
So of course there's the meaningful combat in like maps, and then the meaningful combat when it comes to bosses.
definitely.
And I think something that it's really funny because I watched all your videos, of course,
Right.
and I watched all your videos, and I commented on it on my stream, and it was really funny watching that because I actually think there is quite a bit of meaningful combat in the new classes, the Druid class, because in the Druid class, as I'm watching you play, you are going around clearing with your, the lunar assault on your wolf, which is like the swipe that freezes the enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of times when you go up to a rare and then you swap up. You don't use lunar assault anymore. You use it to freeze
Dread.
them, and then you go into your regular the regular auto attack, and then sometimes even cross slash, right? That's to me, that was the vision of meaningful combat for like mapping.
Okay, I agree. I agree with so I see it as, you break it down into bosses and maps. I then break it down, let's take a step further, to players and then the monsters. Because I totally agree. I think the wolf is probably the best example of you know, actually engaging gameplay, even though it's like the same abilities, I still think it's engaging and it feels good, right? It's not engaging to be engaged. It's like, I tried playing like a spell totem build and I just can't do like generating the power charge. I don't think that's too engaging, but the wolf I feel is quite engaging. I feel like with the monsters, that's the end that's really, really missing. And that's the one that I really started noticing right when you hit the end game. And it's been that way since 0.1. It becomes not a game of looking at what the monsters do. And there's so many different monsters, all these different variations. You know, they advertise 400 plus. I think there's 500 plus now. And once you get to end game, you really don't care about what they do. It's literally just, okay, I need to watch out for ground degens. Those are super dangerous. And then some on death effects, and then stray projectiles. I swear those are the most dangerous things in the game, and I feel like that's kind of a joke. So I think I do agree about the player character aspect for all the druid stuff. I think that if they build that out, if they build out those options for more classes, that'd be awesome. But I really think the big problem is the monsters too, because those have also been like nerfed drastically from 0.1 to now. I'd argue, like I think I said in my video, in 0.1 I played it, I thought that they were going to go the opposite direction, where they were going to be like, okay, you know, people are going really fast right now. We're going to kind of extend how long it takes to progress to this level, to trivialize the game, because I agree, ARPGs eventually are trivialized. And they did the opposite, I feel like. Like, they tried it in 0.2, and then a weekend they were like, okay, no, never mind. We're not going to do that. And ever since then, they've kind of made it easier to get to that point, you know? Especially for, I'm going to say it, us veterans, I feel like we can trivialize the game very, very quick. So, what do you think? Sorry, that was a long tirade.
No, I mean, again, I think this does go into this question of like, does it get to that point too fast?
Actually, yeah.
Because this whole conversation is it's a very hard topic to approach, because you want to be able to blast, and Jonathan does want to allow us to blast. But at the same time, he wants us to have meaningful combat, which I just feel like in my mind, I don't know if it's possible to have like super meaningful combat against rares. That's just my opinion. I think that when it comes to meaningful combat, it's gonna be in the bosses, the uber bosses, the pinnacle bosses, whatever it might be. When it comes to like the rares, if you want to feel like a god, it's very hard to feel like a god when you're trying to clear through a map and then all these like tanky rares are there to just stop you from clearing through. Like, whether it be a one button build or a multi-button build,
yeah,
if you're not able to just blast through, then that's just gonna kind of prevent you from feeling like he says, making your character feel like a god.
So that's like the thing. So here's another one that I think people think is rage bait for me, but it's not. It's a legit opinion. You know, feeling like a god, shouldn't it take effort, ingenuity, time to feel like a god? Like, I feel like it occurs too fast. I feel like it occurs too fast.
I mean, I think we're both in agreement on that part, where it's like, you know, maybe it's like too fast to get to that point. Yeah. And I think I agree. I do agree with that. I think it's kind of crazy how like we can blow up bosses in like 3 to 5 seconds with not even crazy gear. It's like maybe it's like more than entry level, but it's not like, oh, I need to have had a significant amount of investment into the game to get there, especially for the bosses stuff.
Yeah.
I think for mapping, that's a little bit hard about figuring out how fast we get to that point. I don't hate how fast we get to the point of being able to blast maps, but I definitely think for the bossing side, it really doesn't make sense. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. In Path of Exile 1, the bossing is way more meaningful than in Path of Exile 2. Even though Path of Exile 2 is supposed to be the bossing game, they're talking like, we have so many bosses in this game, so many different varieties. You're going to have a boss in every map. But all these bosses are just literally getting mowed down by a sneeze.
Yep. Yeah, I praise especially the pinnacles for PoE 1. Like, those stand on a different pedestal when it comes to like the compared to the PoE2 pinnacles. Like, I think pretty much everyone in PoE1 clears the PoE2s. Maybe except like Elder. I feel like Elder's a little boring, but the other ones, I totally agree. When it comes to, so yeah, I think we 100% agree on the bosses. I guess it is the mapping where we disagree. And that's where you spend a lot of time in the game. So I kind of want to pick that apart from your perspective.
Yep.
What's the problem? What is the problem with needing to pay more attention and engage with the rest? Because what I imagine here, I'll like give an ideal scenario. Okay. Say you have like 5 packs of monsters in your map. We're going to do small numbers. Okay. And each pack has a rare.
Right.
And each of those fights, let's say, takes 10 seconds, okay, to do.
Mm-hmm.
And with the rares, you know, okay, they all have abilities. The rares are actually supposed to have unique abilities per monster type. They don't have that right now, which I totally understand why, because why would they put in the time to do that if they just die in a couple seconds anyway, right? Like, it makes no sense.
Yep.
But imagine they have, instead of like the rare monster modifiers, which I feel like are just a layover from PoE1, they have these unique abilities. Mm-hmm. And they're dangerous, and you have to dodge out of the way or play around them, right? Or maybe they have unique defenses, and you have to actually swap up the skill that you're using, like was originally pitched from Jonathan, and you can't just rely on 1 or 2 skills to do everything. I often see the complaint is that would be too exhausting or too repetitive. Do you share that sentiment, or is there something else that would make that boring, where you have the one rare, maybe 15 white monsters that do die in the one hit? You know, or a couple hits, and then you actually have to play around this mini boss monster in a map before moving on to the next path. And I think it's important to also say, this one monster would also drop the equivalent of maybe a couple rare packs in Path of Exile 2 right now. Like, we're not talking about dropping down loot tremendously or the value of loot tremendously by like squishing the packs into smaller groups of monsters, right? Like, it would be equivalent in terms of reward. What do you think the problem is there?
I mean, again, it just depends on the definition of meaningful combat.
Okay.
Just how the way I read it was Jonathan wants you to look at a rare monster and just have a different approach.
Yeah.
You can't just spam one button and just clear everything. Like, that's kind of like the vision. And he does also want one button builds to be viable, right? And it's about being able to play different types of builds the way that you want. If you want to play a one button build and just blast, you should be able to. But maybe the ceiling of how fast you get to that point should be a little bit higher than maybe a multi-button build or something like that.
Right.
But I think there does exist quite a bit of, at least, again, it's about changing your approach to the fight. Another example is like the wolf, or maybe it's about like, if you think about your character earlier in the end game, if you're playing a poison burst arrow character, you might have to throw a vine arrow next to the monster and then poison burst it, as opposed to just using one button and poison bursting it. And that in itself is also changing up your approach to the fight. I don't know how much Jonathan like really meant when he said changing up your approach. Did it mean like totally I need to stop there, stand there, and like just deal with this monster for, I don't know, 5-10 seconds? Or is it just like in the moment, okay, well, I see this monster, I'm not gonna be able to take it down that quickly if I just use one skill. I'm gonna need to throw in a vine arrow. I'm gonna need to go drop an orb of storms. I'm gonna need to drop this extra other skill or two to be able to kill it relatively quickly.
Yeah, and I
think that is for me what the
got it
meaningful combat is.
Yeah, so just basically changing how your character approaches each encounter, because like what we have many different skills that we can use, right? We have all these 6-slot available gem slots, but a lot of the time I feel like, except for, you know, the druid talisman skills, it kind of does devolve into, hey, I can just lightning arrow this. Hey, I can just
sort of.
it,
I
right?
mean, I'd say like there's a lot of builds that definitely get to that point, but you know, as you get further down into the tiers of the builds, then you get more and more of that. Like, hey, I might need to press multiple buttons. Like, maybe I need to throw a forge hammer at this mob instead of just using leap slam, and I might need to throw this again, like vine arrow or something. But maybe what it is just like the ceiling, like or how strong the builds are. Maybe there's too high of a ceiling for these builds,
Mm,
or is the floor either one? I'm not
okay.
sure. Basically, you just get to that point too fast with a lot of different builds. They're a little bit too strong.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that either of us disagree that at some point you should be able to blast and just
Yeah.
mow down these mobs.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that the path to progression should be longer, and it should not just almost swap on, you know, whether it's right when you hit endgame, essentially late in the interludes. I think that's when a lot of builds like come online, essentially, like they get all the tools, and once they get the tools necessary, the game becomes very trivial when it comes to the packs, when it comes to bossing and the like. Because even like you were talking about my wolf gameplay, very cognizant of the fact I'm pressing multiple buttons, but it's still like trivial. Like that is a crap build that has SSF gear pretty much, terrible items, right? I'm level 92. I'm a Smith of Kitava. I don't even know what I was thinking doing a Wolf Smith of Kitava. It's kind of stupid. And I'm literally just like kind of walking through the monsters, watching out for on-death effects, and I'm not dying and I'm killing everything like with ease. So I hope that
Yeah.
happens in the future. However, Miso, I do have to say, I don't really think it's going to happen. I've kind of lost
No,
hope,
I don't
and
think
that's
it's gonna happen.
what really sparked this whole
But
conversation. Because I've kind of talked about it a little bit since 0.1, but I think somebody rightly pointed out, you know, why have you been so much angrier with 0.4? Well, one, I crashed out because I was mad at my RNG in the game, so that happened. And then two, I went and I played all these other games. I played like Diablo 2. I played No Rest for the
mhm,
Wicked. I played through the PoE 1 League. You know, that was a blast. I've been like kind of a little bit more diverse in my gaming and not just eating PoE 2 every 3 or 4 months and then dropping everything. And it
mhm.
kind of just made me realize, hey, you know, maybe this is like almost the last opportunity to kind of voice this because I feel like it's going in one direction. Um, and it's not the direction I had originally expected. So why not just bring it up, you know, this one last hoorah in the lead up for 0.5? And I do think it's too far gone. Like I feel like it is going to become really embrace what I think you kind of said is like what ARPG gamers really, really want. Like it's not trying to mix identities like No Rest for the Wicked is. Like, oh, it's really Souls-like. Oh, or sorry, it's not Souls-like enough, and it's not ARPG enough, so it's kind of lost, right? I don't think they're gonna go risque in that way. I think they're gonna embrace
Risque.
risque. Yeah, sorry, risky. Sorry, yeah, you know they do have some risque stuff in PoE too. But they're gonna
A little bit.
like yeah just a little bit that Siri. They're gonna go in the ARPG direction and then do the classic, you know, okay, then we'll plop these side systems in, but we're not really gonna try to break the formula too much. Do you kind of feel that way at this point too after 4 patches?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the thing is, for me personally, right? Again, this is like the way I feel, and I feel like maybe they've shifted this perspective too. And well, hopefully they did. I think that the meaningful combat should exist in pinnacle bosses and boss fights.
I agree.
And I don't know if the meaningful combat should exist in maps. I'm
Okay.
on the side of I don't really care too much, as I think that you should be able to play meaningful combat if you want in the maps, but I don't think it should be a forced across all characters and all builds that you have to be playing some sort of combo gameplay. You have to be playing some sort of like situation where I see a rare and I need to go there and be like, I might need to press multiple buttons. Like, I think it should be a choice. And I actually had a really interesting idea that I was talking with Blaze about last night as well. We had like an impromptu little mini podcast.
Nice.
But right now, when we're juicing maps, right? You can juice pretty much everything. You could juice pack size. You could juice number of rares. You can juice effectiveness, and you could juice rarity. You could pretty much juice all of them at the same time. But the thing is, effectiveness and pack size, in my opinion, should be two sides of a coin.
Right.
I mean, they are, because pack size increases the amount of monsters, effectiveness doesn't, but they both increase drops, right? Because you're getting more monsters, you get more drops, and then effectiveness, you're making the monsters harder and you're getting more drops. So, what if there's a situation where you can only choose one or the other? Where if you want to play a slower build, you don't juice pack size, you just juice effectiveness. and increase the quantity of drops by doing that, and just make the mobs just harder. And Blaze had a really good point about like it feels really bad to just have meat sponges a lot of times. So maybe it is those special like moves that the
Right.
rare monsters were originally intended to have. Maybe there's like a break point, right? At 100% effectiveness, you get like a ton more drops, but then they add more health and also get some of these extra like moves and attacks. So like again, if you're a person that wants to play a slower build, you're going to juice effectiveness instead of uh monster pack size and rare monsters. But then if you're a person that wants to blast, then you're going to be able to juice pack size and rarity and all that stuff.
I think that's a great idea. And maybe I'm being too doomer. Maybe not all is lost, because when you were talking about that, didn't Mark say in the last interview, like, hey, with our Atlas tree, we'll want to go crazy, and maybe you can have these diverging paths. Or you can
Mhm.
juice the size of the packs, or you can juice, the danger of each individual monster. So maybe that is the
Yeah.
direction they're going, but it would be way cooler if, like you said, they're not just meat sponges, but they're actually dangerous and they have new and unexpected abilities that they're going to use to really spice up the gameplay. Because yeah, that's also the problem, right? Because if they go in the route of spicing or just juicing up the HP essentially with nothing new, it's going to be so boring. These rare monsters, it's going to be a joke. You're just going to be like walking around them, hitting them for a really long amount of time, and that is boring. Because I do like the fast gameplay too. I like that you can leap from pack to pack. I just want to almost like mentally track that something different is going on as opposed to the same thing over and over. Have you played like Hades or Hades 2? Any of those games?
I played Hades. I haven't played Hades 2.
Okay. I think it's really, really fast, but you do track all the different monsters that you're fighting. Like you have to be aware of, okay, this guy has this set of like 4 different abilities. I got to watch out for this tell. But it's really fast. It's not slow at all. Like you're constantly moving. I like that feel in games like Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2, that you're never really static in one area. Your character's always on the run and you're always seeing new stuff.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's such a tricky line to toe. And I'm very excited to see if, maybe I'm too doomer. Maybe something cool is gonna
Yeah.
happen in 0.5 with the new Atlas trees and all that. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, and
good
it's
idea.
I do think, and the more that I did think about it, I think we're both kind of on that path of thinking like, oh, maybe they are going down this path because of 0.3, where they reduced pack sizes and then they added this effectiveness
Mm.
trait, right? So maybe they are going down this path. I do remember in 0. When they made the announcement first, I was actually listening to Rue, and he says when everybody else was saying this is a terrible change, knocking down pack size, he said this is probably the best change that they've made for Path of Exile 2. Because
W Rue.
if they want these more slower playstyles to be viable, they cannot just keep juicing pack size. That needs to go. It needs to have these more bigger, chunkier monsters and being able to scale that.
I never thought I'd say it. I 100% agree with Rue. Like that, yeah, that's a smart take. 100%. I do remember the firestorm that it was 0.4. I think that they talked about
Mhm.
this, and people were freaking down about the density
Yep.
changes, the
And
40%
he was the
reduction.
only one that I heard that had that opinion. And I was like,
Very
you know
nice.
what? I actually 100% agree with this.
Yeah, that's a good one. So 0.5 will be interesting whenever we get the news on that one. There was one other bullet point here that I had about the vision of PoE 2 that I just wanted to pick your brain about. I don't think I really saw you mention it. Uh Loot in Path of Exile 2. One of the big other cells that I bought into, I was like, oh my gosh, we won't need a loot filter. Oh, this is so cool. Use the loot filter to
Yeah.
highlight certain items instead.
Mhm.
Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
That was like a week before early access launched. I don't know how that
Yeah.
happened. Obviously, it didn't
I'm
occur. Are you pro like the way loot is now, essentially?
Yeah, so I just don't think it's possible.
Right,
I
with the
don't
type
think
of
it's
game.
possible to do that. It's a lofty goal, and it would be cool if they were able to get that to happen, because loot filters are another thing that you need to do on top of other, you
Yeah.
got to download POB, you got to go get, Awaken PoE, or whatever it's called, XL Exchange 2. Like you got to get all these things, look up a guide, like figure out the tree. You just got to do all these things, and it would be nice if there was like one less thing you need to do that's outside the game. But I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's possible
Mm,
because how do you know what the value of loot is at every single point of the game? How do you know, like, hey, I don't want like, am I gonna be the person that's like, hey, I don't want to see exalts anymore? Are you gonna get rid of exalts for me like automatically? Sure, maybe at like tier 15 it'll get rid of exalts. But another person might be like, hey, I want those exalts. I liked that. Or it's like, I want transmutes. It's like those still have value throughout the game. And
right.
it's not only the currency, it's like bases, white bases. A week or two in, maybe an eye level 82, 81, 80 white base is still worth something and still worth a good amount. But who are you to tell me that that's not worth it anymore and you're going to take it out of my loot or
Right.
whatever, right? Whereas now, it's just like because economies change, economies shift, one league is going to be different than another. This might not have been worth much one league, but next league it's going to be worth a lot. And if it's just kind of taken out or whatever, then is to be really bad, especially when it comes to like bases. You want a lot of bases. So it's like, okay, meaningful combat, right? We're going to drop less loot, but I want more loot. I want more white bases. So who are you to tell me that you want me to drop less white bases? I need them to craft. So it just feels like everybody wants something different at a different time and the
Yeah.
economy shifts and changes. So having a loot filter just solves both of those problems. Unfortunately, it doesn't solve the problem of like having to have a loot filter,
Mhm.
but it just feels like to me it gives players agency to decide for themselves what they want to see and what they don't want to see. My loot filter looks very different than a lot of other people's loot filters. I don't go, a lot of people have certain things filtered out. I still have them, but yeah.
It I see it as I get your point on like the white bases and everything in currency. I feel like they almost jumped the shark a little bit with juicing the amount of rare items that drop. I think back when the game first launched, it was very low,
Well,
very few
I think
rares.
rares have a problem
They do.
right now.
Look, it's useless.
And
It's literally useless loot.
so it's really great because I have the solution. Arrow actually mentioned this on our podcast. Rares actually do have a built-in system to filter themselves out, and that's the tiering system.
Okay.
But the tiering system itself is extremely flawed right now because the tier 5 rare basically means that it's going to be like a tier 1 or a tier 2 affix
Right.
guaranteed on the item, right?
Okay.
But the problem is that tier 1 or tier 2 affix could be something complete trash, like I don't know, a light radius or something like that. Even though we did have that meta recently, but in a normal meta, we don't have that as like a thing. Let's just say it's like the most garbage
Right.
thing in the game, right? But it's a tier 1 or tier 2 affix, so it's going to show up as a tier 5 rare. So rather than showing it as a tier 5 because it has a tier 1 or tier 2 affix, rather than doing the tiers themselves, they should go off the weighting of those tiers.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the higher weighted tiers, the higher weighted affixes are usually the more valuable affixes. And as a result, if they have let's say an average of the weights, right? Let's say the rare item identified would have had 4 affixes, and then you have like two affixes at like 25 weight, and then
Mhm.
like 2 affixes at like 600 weight or something like that. You average that out, and then that final number determines what tier of an item that is.
That's an elegant solution. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that supposed to be the way it was going to work originally? Didn't they like say like,
I
oh,
don't know.
certain affixes like your light radiuses or your life regens will be kind of pooped out on tier 1? I feel like that was supposed to be the way it was going to work, but it didn't end up that way. So, I think that's
Yeah,
a really good
I guess it
solution.
did.
That's a cool
Yeah.
solution. Cuz I feel like if they did that, they could also kind of reduce the sheer number of the 20 rare items that drop and kind of juice them into a couple that drop that have higher tiers and everything, because I think that's where the ridiculousness comes from. I don't even think it's from the white bases. I don't think it's from the currency that drops or the special items. I think it's all just the extra rare items that you get that most people literally just start hiding once they're level like 80, literally in the end game, like they,
Yeah.
especially if you're in trade. You just pop in. Or if you're an SSF, I don't know. Are you hiding a lot of the rares too, essentially, and just crafting on white bases in SSF?
I'm lazy. I go on Neversink and just go up the tiers and eventually go up the high. And I think it hides most of the rares, but some of them they don't. Yeah.
It does,
but
yeah. Okay.
And I understand also their kind of mindset of like adding so many rares in the campaign too, because while we might think like, oh, it's like loot explosion, we didn't want that. Like there was something that people asked for, and that's the ability to craft.
Mm.
And right now, still, Regals are real hard to get when you're leveling up.
Yep, disenchant those rares.
Yeah, and then you Regals and then gold and having that balance. So even with the additional rare drops, we're still having that issue. Maybe it's the solution isn't to drop more rares, is to drop more Regals, but I'm not sure what that would do to the balance of the game. Maybe they've determined that would be too bad for the balance. Like drop more Regals, drop more gold, right? But I don't know.
Well,
I'm not them. I don't have the data.
They also tried to fix it with like more essence spawns in the campaign. I know too. Like in 0.4, when I ran through the campaign on my first and second character, I saw a ludicrous number of essences spawn throughout, like way more than 0.3 and 0.2 and 0.1. That's all because they work as Regals, right? I'm not going crazy. I know I haven't played a ton, but essences in PoE are Regals. Yeah, all right, right, okay.
Greater, like anything other than perfect essences.
Right, those are the add remove. Yeah. Oh, thought I was losing it there for a second. Okay. All right. Let me see. Loot, meaningful combat, progression of power. I don't know. Did you have anything to bookend that conversation? I swear, we basically agree, but people thought we were in a war against each other. So, anything to bookend that?
I mean, at the end, I think that, and I mentioned this in the video as well when I went through like what Jonathan said, right? Going through the videos and like the receipts saying like Jonathan always meant for the game to pick up in pace and be fast. And, you know, just because there's meaningful combat doesn't mean the game has to be slow. At the end, I pulled a clip from the Crip interview, which he said, you know what? At the end of the day, the most important thing is that when me and Mark pick up the game, we need to think that the game is fun. And if the game is not fun to us, maybe it means we need to push up those numbers a little bit. Make the game a little faster, make the abilities a little stronger. So maybe at the end of the, like, all this, like, argument, like, I think that all this, like, oh, what was the original vision supposed to be?
Yeah.
I don't think they ever had a intention to just like fully stay strong on the vision and what it originally needed to be. I think it was always going to evolve. It was always going to be,
oh yeah,
you know, if people found it not fun, we're going to change it. Like,
100%.
Of course they need to have a vision, right? They need to have a vision that they're going to stay strong on, but there's things that they can concede on versus not concede on, I think.
And just a point of clarification, slower pace does not equal slow pace.
Yes.
Definitely. Because that's another thing that people are slower does not equal slow. Okay, please tell me you did. Did you watch the Chris Wilson, Thomas Mahler interview?
I watched a bit of it, yes.
Oh, just a bit of it? Did you see the discussion on ARPG combat? That it was right at the beginning.
I watched a good bit of that, yeah.
Okay, that was excellent. The even better part, at the end of the interview, Thomas asked Chris, would you rather be remembered for staying true to your vision or listening to player feedback? Actually incredible. Like the craziest question, you know, to ask Chris Wilson, I feel like, because he's the vision guy. And they both answered it. And I feel like they almost both gave a non-answer. They're kind of like, oh, you know, it's a mix of both. But
I mean, it is.
It is a mix of both. But it sounded like they leaned in the, you know, oh, I want to be remembered for my vision. Okay. Like I think especially Chris. I don't think it's the reason he left the company or anything, but he obviously had a very stalwart vision when it came to certain ARPG principles that he did not want to break on. I think Jonathan and Mark, less so. I think you're 100% right. They are like far more, especially Mark, it seems like, into the players want it. Boom, we're going to do it. We're going to push in this direction. The players want async trade. We're going to find a way to implement it. The players want, you know, the end game to be better. Like, I think Mark has a quote, something that is like, if the players think it's bad, well, we're just going to change it. We're going to, you know, change it up, whatever. I asked Blaze this. I'd love to hear your take on this whole discussion. I know you said vision is important. Do you think there's like a line where if you always like the players are always going to be upset, right?
Yeah,
you think
100%.
Do you? I don't know. It almost feels like they're almost too conciliatory to the player base. I feel like now, and sometimes they need to be like, you know what? No, this is the way we want to do it. Whether it's like something I agree with or disagree with, I almost feel like they're almost giving in too much to the players. Where Chris always toed that line of like, yeah, we're gonna listen to the player feedback, but you know what? We're gonna stick by our vision and make some changes, a little bit. They're like, they almost like they melt to the players. Do you think that's a little too far with like the way they've been handling PoE 1 and PoE 2, or just let them cook, do whatever they want?
I mean, maybe I'm gonna give a non-answer. This is gonna be a non-answer as well.
You're good.
But I think there's certain things that they do it on, and there's certain things that they don't do it on. Like, for example, we have all like on our podcast, Path of Exile podcast.
Path to Exile.
A couple of our guests have brought up, and including Dreamcore, about how they have been very much like it feels like we're being pigeonholed into certain things, like certain weapons are all like, it doesn't make it's weird how like certain weapons should be able to do certain attacks, but they can't. Like in Path of Exile 1, for example, you can use a leap slam with like a staff. You can use leap slam with an axe and a sword. But in Path of Exile 2, you can just do it with only with a mace, right? It's like they have like the strict archetypes for like the weapons and what skills they can use, and it feels almost very limiting. And it's also there's skills that are always going to be like, here's the combo for the skill. Like you're always going to do like a slam with Molten Fissure or something like that, right? And then it just feels like it's very much on rails at that point.
Yep.
And he wishes that could get opened up and that could allow more player freedom. But it seems like so far, even though people have asked for it, it hasn't been given, right? So things like that, it seems like they're pretty steady on the vision. And like, no, the weapon swaps are going to make up for it. It's going to be fine. You're going to feel freedom. It's going to be great, right? It's like things like that. It feels like they're very much stubborn on it. And also when it comes to like nerfing things, right? It's like, why did they nerf this? It wasn't even OP. Well, it's like it didn't fit with the vision, right? And that's why the whole vision thing is in here. Like if they didn't have a vision, right? We wouldn't even have these conversations about like the vision. Oh, that got visioned out of the game, right? It's clear that they do have a vision, but maybe we just don't know where they draw the line, and maybe they don't even know. Who knows? But there's definitely certain things that they do hold the line on, but there's other things that they don't.
I miss those. They used to do like development manifestos where they would talk about the vision like in plain English, and they would write out stuff. And I know that takes time and it takes away from development effort. Man, as just a player, that's what I was back then. I was just a player. I loved reading through those. I'm like, it came to like, it gave me a greater understanding of how the game designers are thinking and working in the background. And that's why I really like Chris Wilson's channel, because it's literally like, it's giving me such a plain way to understand how they're making these games that I just wouldn't like. I have surface level takes on some things. I realize that, but listening to the people who actually make the games, like break down the intricacies, man, it just illuminates so much. I miss those. And that's why I would also love if they were a little bit more open about that stuff with PoE 2. Like what you just talked about, staying true to the vision, especially when it comes to character balance and the like. I've brought it up on interviews direct to Jonathan, DM, Gazzy, Zizarin. The whole kiss curse, especially when it comes to like armor-based builds and stuff on the tree or two-handed weapons. Like people have brought that up as being, why is this happening? Why does heavy armor have the innate movement speed penalty? It's not even shown. Like, why is this? And the response is, I almost feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out. It's like, we just like it that way. We just want it to be that way. I would love if they actually like dove in a little bit more and like gave a little bit more like insight into the game design. We had like, well, it has to be this way because if we change this to be this, what?
According to Zaki, it's just vibes.
It's just, It might be. Maybe it's just vibes, dude. It might be vibes. Like, maybe it's not deeper than that. Maybe I'm like thinking it has to be deeper than it is. No, it's just vibes. So
It's vibes.
that, we trust them.
That's just how it's gonna be.
Well,
that's how it's gonna be.
That's another thing. They are the game designers. Sometimes we just gotta freaking trust them that we're playing their game for a reason, Yep. Like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing at the end of the day. So as much as we chat about it, they're keeping us on the wheel for a reason. So, okay, we're almost closing it on the hour. Miso, any 0.5 predictions, out of left field that you have? Close out the combo.
Oh, out of left field.
Yeah, what's a left field? Come on.
I've been pretty, I don't know. I've been pretty conservative on my predictions, I guess, because I think that, unfortunately, expectation always breeds disappointment. Because if you have too high of expectation, then you're always going to get disappointed. So I tend to be on the conservative side for what I expect from this patch. And I just think it's going to be a couple things, right? It's going to be a rework of the Atlas skill tree, which they've already said that they're going to do. It's going to be, personally, again, I think they're going to have a new class, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility. I think even the people who probably say that's not, will still say that it's possible that they're going to release a new class. So I think that that's going to happen. And I think that it's going to be a good patch. I think those are the two minimum things.
Okay.
And I think that they're probably going to take a look at the Atlas, Infinite Atlas, and add more stuff into it. Okay.
I think that's fair range. I feel like a left field thing is something that you just brought up, dude. Like, the whole support gem swap, from the one support per character to, okay, you can use as many support gems of this type across your character, right? Yeah. That was a huge balance change, right? Probably required a little bit of work on there. I feel like what you just brought up, that Dreamcore he's talked about this, I swear, since 0.1. That would also be another, like, out of left field, awesome change. Like, can you imagine suddenly being able to use, like, Falling Thunder with a mace? Like, if they open that up, like, that's another, like, peeling back almost of the vision, but it just allows so much more diversity and creativity in the community with a relatively minor change. It's just a whole bunch of, like, animation work probably, or them to, like, fit the different skills to the weapons. I think that would actually be pretty cool. I think that'd be almost like a sprint edition or a support gem thing. So I would like that.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, I think they're going to hold strong on that vision. I think that they're going to continue to keep that. Yeah. I mean, it's part of it is also, like, my perspective on, like, what I think is about education and, like, how people learn. Okay. But when you have less combinations and possibilities and things people don't have to worry about, it's easier for them to learn. Okay. Like, how to play the game. So when you keep it confined, like, in most cases, people think about, like, newer players to the genre, to Path of Exile in general, think about things pretty linearly. Like, when, for example, when I talk to a newer player and they're like, hey, what's a good monk build? They always think that what they're really asking is, what's a good quarterstaff build? Right? Yep. So when you start adding more and more, like, areas where the game can like, it's unfortunate this is the case, because for us ARPG players, we want these, like, huge possibilities, these weird crazy combinations, right? But then that's where it gets kind of, like, more complicated for, like, a newer player coming into the game. So I think that this is kind of one of the ways that they're trying to keep the game a little bit more approachable to, like, a newer player. Again, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me about this, but when it comes to education, I used to be a teacher, right? It's like compartmentalizing the things that you're learning is always going to be the best way for you to learn a big topic, right? So just being able to cut things down into small little bits and pieces to then chain them back together into the big topic is going to be better. So when you reduce the amount of things, the complexities of things like that, even though there are a lot of complexities, if you're just compartmentalizing them, it's just a lot easier to learn.
Yeah, that's a pretty analytical way to look at it. I wonder if they ever wanted to try to avoid that pitfall but also open up the freedoms a little bit. Maybe that could even be like an ascendancy notable, or like a unique item, like a mace allows you to
Yeah,
use quarterstaff skills. They could do that then, you know, like, okay,
yeah,
we don't want to confuse beginners,
maybe.
but for all you crazy guys, okay, here you go. Let's drop this into the game so you can theorize and theorycraft and all that. So that'd
Yeah.
be interesting.
I don't quite like the, unique will solve this problem, that problem, but
What are
I'm
uniques
sure
gonna
they'll find a
do? Come
way.
on, uniques got to do something, Miso. Come
Well,
on.
I know they got to do stuff, but like it's like it feels weird when like you have a like every single problem that you have in the game is like just use this unique and that problem is solved. I think uniques should be build enabling rather than problem solving. If that makes
Wait,
sense.
but aren't builds like problems that you have to solve in the game? Wait, you got to put on your teacher hat. Teach me. What do you mean by that? I was gonna end the pod, but now I'm curious. What is the difference between a build enabling unique and a problem solving unique? Because I feel like you introduce problems to your build as you like shift different things, and you got to solve those problems. Like I see like your character as a
Mhm,
big puzzle, and you're like
mhm.
and a puzzle is kind of a problem in my eyes, and you're like solving the problem as you introduce each piece. What's the difference? Is there a
Well,
difference?
it's more about just like that's the only solve to the problem.
So
Because
one
like
solution.
if you it's the only solution exactly. It's like that's what I mean by that. It's like it, yeah, maybe it's more specifically. It's just I don't like it when a unique
Okay.
is the only solve for a problem. That's
Okay.
probably the better way to put it.
Okay. I got it. I got it. No, that makes sense.
Because like in your situation of like, hey, the problem of like build like how diverse we can get these is just throw a unique on it, right? Well, and there's no other way you can do it. Then
Mm,
that feels a little bit odd and awkward,
okay.
in my
All
opinion.
right. All right. I understand. All right, Miso. Well, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. That was another great episode of the Stall Cast. I am hoping that we get news soon. Like I hope there's not a delay. I hope PoE2 DB guy is wrong and he didn't have some insider information 2 weeks ago.
I mean, again, what I've heard from most content creators, most people don't agree with them. Most people think that like from everything we've seen, right, that they've given to us, this all signs point towards May 8th release of the new league.
I
But
agree.
again, maybe he had insider information that we didn't know about.
He
But
he has really made the PoE2 community ravenous. I've never seen this many "Where's the announcement?" posts ever in my in the
I
history of like
know
a
it's
PoE
all
member.
because of him.
It is.
If
It
it
literally
wasn't for that, we would not be this like, oh, is there
silent.
going to be delay? Is there
Silent.
going to be delay? It is literally just because that guy posted that one thing on there, and he also did change it. I don't know if you noticed.
To
He
May
changed
29th,
it.
right?
Yeah, the May 29th.
This
So
guy.
it goes to show that he does like. At least I don't think he has insider information, unless an insider source is told him, "Oh wait, guys, it's going to get pushed back. It's going to be a little earlier. Don't
Yep.
worry about it."
Keep it in May. Keep it in May. Not June. Not June now. 5 months, not 6 months. 5 months, technically. End of May.
It's just ridiculous that I mean I how I say it is, shit happens, right?
Yeah.
When people was like, how can they like say that they're gonna stick to 4 month schedule? And literally after one league of doing that, sticking to the 4 month schedule, they just say that, oh, you know what, this league we're not gonna do it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what? Sometimes shit happens, right? Sometimes
They
shit just
they know.
happens.
It would be I think, even though I totally agree, like it would suck. Let them cook. If they think it's not ready and they know that they publicly said we're gonna stick to the schedule, they don't, this is the last thing they would ever want to do. They're like you said, some shit might have happened and they're like, well, we literally cannot stick to the schedule. It would be a disaster. So, let them cook. Maybe they'll slip swords and duelist in with this extra time. If there's extra time.
And also, again, one thing I keep forgetting
Oh,
is
shoot.
that I don't think it's called Duelist. I think it's called Gladiator.
Okay, in the art book, it's Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
On the website, it was Gladiator. Now it's back to Duelist. So we're gonna just
Okay.
be surprised, I think, once it drops into
Yeah.
the game. What would you prefer, Duelist or Gladiator?
I mean, I think Gladiator is a little confusing because Gladiators are in ascendancy in Path
One.
of Exile 1.
Yeah.
That's a little bit weird. So I'd prefer Duelist or just something completely different. Like,
Oh.
like what they did with I don't know, like Monk. It's completely different, right? It's just different, completely different name.
That would be cool. Like a fighter. Just drop the fighter class into PoE 2. It's, you know, it's slightly different than warrior. Kinda.
Not sure.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Miso. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any shout outs, you know, for like the Path to Exile podcast on every week?
Yes, indeed. Come check us out. Path of Exile podcast with some superstar hosts, Cal Torak and Dead Rabbit. And then this week on the 23rd, we are going to be having Mr. Darth Microtransaction coming on the podcast. So that's going to be a good time. And, you know, I stream every single night, twitch.tv/MisoxShiru. Come check me out there. Or if not, come on my YouTube, the same handle, MisoxShiru.
Awesome. Everything will be in the description below. Miso, again, thank you so much. This was great. We'll see you all later. Thanks for tuning in live or in the comments. Leave one if you haven't already. I feel like this is going to be a high comment video. So go ahead. Add your voice to the discussion, guys. All right. Thanks, Miso. I appreciate it, bro. All right.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I'll chat with you later, dude. Have a good night or day. Yeah. Night for you, day. I don't know.
It's blurry. I go to sleep during the daytime when it's bright.
Gosh. All right. I'll chat with you later, man. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Chad, how did you enjoy the episode? W or L? I didn't look at chat the entire time. I saw that it was moving really fast on Misu's screen. But I don't know. Let me get chat open. Chat. Oh. Goodness. How's chat? Oh, I gotta scroll. What? You guys like it? It was a good pod. No campaign skip. Rather start maps at level 1. We got some spicy people right now. When is the new league coming out? We don't know, but I think it's May 8th. What you're most excited about with 0.5 and why is it Shadow? Definitely not Shadow. I would be most excited in 0.5 what I think is actually coming. Like, I'd be most excited if we got like Act 5, but I don't think that's coming. I think I'd be most excited to see like a new Pinnacle boss that's actually legit interesting. Arbiter for 5 leagues has been blah. Hey, RPG Witch, what's happening? Very productive stuff, no drama. That was the entire point. I feel like we were just talking past you. Like, I feel like we totally agree and just have some minor things. And people were trying to drama bait us. You can't drama bait me with Miso. I love Miso. He's great. Even though I say his name wrong like every single time I say it. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure we agree. I feel like there is. I feel more hopeful after that podcast. Because Miso's totally right. Blaze and him had it sounds like they had a good chat last night with the whole juicing effectiveness versus pack size instead of just consistently doing both. If you could like double down in one or the other, so the people who like, you know, blowing up screens, moving really, really fast from pack to pack versus like smaller packs where you're fighting an individual monster, you know, for like 10, 15, whatever seconds. And it's actually interesting. Like, it's a dangerous monster and not a meat sponge. Because a meat sponge or a meat sack would suck. Please don't do that. That'd be really great. So, okay, my hope is like restored. I kind of forgot about that line from Mark. As Miso was talking, I was like, wait, didn't Mark say that they want to like kind of enable people to not just juice pack size? And I think he did. I'm 90% sure my memory is correct on that. So, and Miso seemed to agree. So that's exactly what you said. Yeah, Blaze, you're 100% right, because I wouldn't want to just like, you know, like for 15 seconds. That'd be really boring. The monster has to be dangerous enough, like, and interesting enough for me not to do that. So, W take Blaze and Miso. Will I ever have Gazzy on? Of course I'll have Gazzy on. Last time, okay, I was about to blame him. It wasn't him. Last league, I was supposed to have him on, and then my Jonathan interview got scheduled for that day, so I had to cancel on Gazzy. R.I.P. Gazzy. Sorry, but yes, yeah, we'll have Gazzy on. I think he's on the list for this league, so as long as we can get it working. I hope that the person who thought I only rage bait now, you know, appreciated my answer. I definitely don't rage bait, okay? Just because you disagree with my opinion doesn't mean I rage bait. If I rage baited, I would rage bait so hard, guys. All right? I know how to push the PoE 2 community's buttons. All right, I've been doing it unintentionally for like 2 years now. So if I intentionally did it, oh, goodness. Lilylicious with the stat stuff. I asked her about it. I don't think she can share that much with me, unfortunately. We're doing great today. Gazzy for 0.5 is the plan. I got 11 guests planned for 0.5. Here's the thing, though. I'm going on a cruise in June, and I'm going to Stratford in June. So if it gets pushed to June, guys, I mean, it might be a, you know, the movie A Year Without Santa Claus. It's going to be a PoE 2 patch without try. At least at the start. Because June, I'm like MIA. So Grinding Gear Games, please do not push it to June. Don't do that. Can I can drop the line up in mod chat. Yeah, I can. Unintentional rage bait. It is called being human. Hey, Enderloam, what's going on, man? No, Kitten Cat Noodle works at GGG now, so I can't really interview non-Jonathan and Mark people, it seems, for PoE 2. So. Funny who be one a pack size then many monster, and who want to be less monster but more power will be funny for all types of builds. Single target with AoE. It'll also open up like a build diversity a bit and Swediara, I think, because everybody will like that shouldn't even be the case. Like you should be able to have a single target skill and an AoE skill, but everybody really tries to work toward just having the AoE skill for clearing packs, just kill everything. Wolf, like Miso brought up, is such a great example of that doing right, that meaningful combat where you do have all the different abilities and you're constantly using them. I feel like the big part is the monsters being not dangerous enough is the problem. It's like all the bleh on the screen that's dangerous. Flub Gun next. I tried to do a Flub Gun interview last time. I mean, bro just has to respond, and you know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll have to see. That would be, I think it would be interesting. I feel like his chat might not like that one, though. Maybe that'll have to be like a pre-recorded one. Otherwise, chat might go nuclear.
Of arenas, duelist. God is watching.
God is watching indeed. Thanks for the raid, Miso. That was awesome, man. Thanks for hopping on the pod. My brother will really enjoy that one. I appreciate you poning me so many times during that podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you sleep well, Miso. I'll talk to you later, bro. Also, do you guys notice my raid announcement? As you know, Dominus with the amazing line about the duelist. 100% Miso. Hope the pod goes well this week with DM as well. June 11th is your birthday. Can you ask GGG kindly to release PoE 2 0.5 on June 11th? Bro, no. My birthday is May 15th. Could you kindly ask GGG to release it on May 15th? Because I would totally take the day off. Well, so my actually big thing, guys, with this, the thing that I'm most upset about, let's be real, I have a full-time job. I have to request PTO usually a month in advance. Sometimes people make exceptions. Sometimes my boss makes exceptions. I make exceptions for my team, but I have a lot of responsibility at my job. Like I already have client meetings planned 3 weeks out right now. I need the date so I can request the PTO. Like I can't gamble with my PTO, you know? So that's what I really want the date. I don't even care if it's delayed. I don't care. I just want the day so I can be like, yo, I need to take this day off because I want to blast some Path of Exile too. I'm a director of paid media. I run marketing ads for recruitment jobs on, you know, Google ads, Meta ads, TikTok ads, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, all that stuff. I manage all the media budgets and client relations and stuff. That's why I'm so bubbly. You know, I have a job that's like that. It's also why I use my hands a lot when I talk, because when I'm working, I use my hands. I'm just this type of person, you know? Oh, guys, I don't think I said this on stream. I met my first viewer in person a couple weeks ago. I think I tweeted this. It was crazy. He was normal. He was a normal dude. It was crazy. He was at my church. He recognized me and he came up, and guess what? He plays Diablo 4 now. He's like, you know, PoE 2. Long drought. I popped in Diablo 4. Paladin's fun. I'm blasting the Paladin, you know. Still watch your streams and all your videos, but Diablo 4 is really good. So I met my first viewer, and he's a traitor. He betrayed us. He went to Diablo. I'm just kidding. I'm going to play the new Diablo 4 expansion when it comes out. My dad has been loving it. My dad is like Paragon 210, I think is what he said. That high? I don't know. Maybe GG should do NDA with content creators to tell them when to take PTO. No, nah. I wish I had any insider information. I do not do. Nope. I don't do it for software as a service. No, we just do it for truck driver carriers. Thanks for the follow, bros. Thank you. Secret Blizzard agent talkative try. That's my, I gotta say, that's my favorite theory about me. Is that I am a plant from Blizzard to sabotage guys, legit comments on my latest videos about, you know, the more meaningful combat. That I am an agent planted by Blizzard to sabotage Path of Exile 2 and infiltrate Grinding Gear Games and try to get in their heads. Newsflash, I don't have any like influence on the game. I literally just talk about the game, okay? I don't have any influence. I just talk about the game, guys. Come on. According to Suna, who is level designer at GGG, only community team and directors know the release dates. Yep. Yeah, they've said that before on my Discord too. They don't tell the company. The company is in the dark because can you imagine that? There could be, you know, leaks. So you do have from interviews. I don't have influence though. I actually no, I actually believe that. That makes so much sense. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, I shouldn't have shared this publicly. Were I one of the people invited to ExileCon? I was invited to ExileCon. I will be there. I will have a 2-week-old baby at that point, but I have such a lovely wife, a mother-in-law, a mother, a grandma, just a wonderful family to lift us up and support us. Thank God I will be able to go to ExileCon. Yes. I will still be going. My brother will be coming instead of my wife. So I won't have nearly as much fun at nighttime in New Zealand, but you know, it'll still be a good time. It'll be a good time. I did a pod with Riker Face Disabler. I love Riker. Hey folks, this is Riker. I listen to every single Saturday morning news video from Riker. I'm that guy. I started playing PoE 2 because you glazed it so much. You were very bad spy, sir. I know. It's so weird. Like I glaze it too much, then I critique it too much. Now I'm rage baiting and hating on PoE 2. Like, come on, guys. I'm just giving my opinions. You know who glazes PoE 2 too much? It's that Blazeworks guy. He has way too good of videos on PoE 2 and way too many hours in the game. I feel like he might be a Canadian plant from Grinding Gear Games. I think that's okay. Blaze, right? Glazeworks TV. I thought of that the other day when somebody commented, I think on our pod together, and they're like, "Wow, the two biggest glazers of PoE 2 on a podcast together. How crazy!" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, glaze, dude, that's a good one. It's just there." Would secret agent promoter for GGG fit better? Maybe. I've had that accusation before, but you know, that one actually makes sense to me, but of course it's not true. Would be a crazy arc. What do I mean fun at night? Mario Kart? Yeah, Mario Kart and chill. Yep. I love GGG and PoE. Sue me. I know. Also, I'm also a no rest for the wicked glazer now. You know, when I love something, I love something. Although, man, that game pisses me off way more than Path of Exile 2. And you know why it pisses me off? Because I know it's 100% a skill issue on my part. and it's not even BS like in PoE 2, because in PoE 2 you can literally die from like some crazy one shot, and it's like, that's not your fault, that's the game's fault, obviously. And then No Rest for the Wicked, it is purely a skill issue. Like, I will bash my head up against a boss for an hour, and it's all on me. I hate that game. I wonder if the amount of skill that a game requires is directly correlated with the amount you can get mad at a game. It has to be, right? Like, this has to be. There should be like research papers written about this. That has to be a phenomena. Hello, all the way from South Africa. What's going on, Leo? Oh, Ender, I totally agree. At this point, if GGG want to do meaningful combat for PoE 2, they basically need to return back to basics and redesign almost everything. Yeah, they're not going to do that. That's why Path of Exile 3 is being developed right now. Oh, shoot! I mean... Sorry, I didn't put on my Toxic Try hat for that one. Yeah, just pay attention to ExileCon, guys. I'm sure there will be some interesting announcements at ExileCon. Okay? Just, watch. I'm just kidding, guys. They can't develop 3 games. They're struggling with 2. They're struggling juggling 2. Whoa, struggle juggle. Wonder if that's a... Oh, I could make a joke with that. The struggle juggle. Oh, I gotta tell Natalie that later. That's good. At least I've not spoiled PoE 4 yet. Log in PoE 3. Yeah. Okay, Ruthless and PoE 2. Actually gonna happen, I bet, guys. Hey, Bandit, what's going on, brother? You spooked me for a second. Couldn't tell. That was a joke, guys. There's no Path of Exile 3 that I know of, okay? But I may have a video coming out on my second channel later in which I talk about Path of Exile 3 in a totally non-jokey manner, totally not wearing shades, inside in a perfectly... in a dim room, you know? It's not going to happen. Add campaign skip 59.99, 100%. Hey, Caltrak, what's going on, man? I'm sorry we didn't get to the campaign skip in the podcast. I mean, that was going to be another topic, of course, you know? Caltrak, can you take a video that is vaguely can you please release a video vaguely calling me out that I can react to and then invite you on the pod? I'm just kidding. Cal, I think you messaged me, and I'm remembering you messaging me, but I don't think I ever responded to your message. I think I just emojied it. But if you want to do a stalling pod, I'll message you on Discord. We might need another stalling pod next week. So I can't do like multi-stalling pods a week, guys. That would be too much. But one stalling pod a week, that's fine. Campaign shortcuts. It's to be SOE, Souls of Exile. Dude, Souls of Exile? Cal, I think, is one of the most recurring guests. I think Cal has been on the pod 3 times. I think he might be the only person that's been on 3 times. There's twice. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think there's been a 3-peat yet. Has there been a 3-peat? I think it's only been a 2-peat. I'm trying to think back. Yeah, just 2-peat. We need a podathon. Dude, such a good idea if I ever go full time. Literally just like a train of podcast. No, that'd be too much. You're a 2-peat, Blaze. I don't think I've had a 3-peat. Who will be the first 3-peat on the Still Sane podcast? Okay, actually, Dreamcore and Silver, because the Still Sane podcast used to kind of be a recurring thing with Dream, Silver. Was it just Dream and Silver? And then Silver died. No, he didn't die. I'm just kidding. He stopped making common content. Anybody else miss Silver XYZ? Blaze, I feel like you would love Silver. Did I ever connect you with Silver? I mean, if he ever comes back, I gotta connect you with him because I feel like you two would get along really well too. No, he was really cool. Have you seen his videos? He was like a game designer, essentially. He was excellent artist. Oh, Jonathan Rogers is a 3-peat. Okay, Jonathan Rogers was literally... Okay, he's been on 4 times. Never mind. 5 times. 5 times. Okay, Jonathan already won. Sorry, guys. Why would somebody try shushing me? Yeah, Silver's just busy with IRL stuff. He's just got a lot of stuff going on, you guys. Yeah, he played 0.4. I've spoke with him a few times. He's just busy with IRL stuff. Lots of stuff going on there. Yeah, make sure you follow him. So if he ever, you know, pops on stream again, you can watch him. Interviews Jonathan 4 times. Definitely not influencing the game. Sounds like a spy. By that logic, Ziggy D is the most influential content creator of all time. I actually think, if you're looking at interviews, I think Zizarin's 0.2 interview was the most game influential interview of all time, essentially. Although I think a lot of those changes were happening. I think, you know, visibly to the community, I think that was the most influential interview of all time. I don't think any other interviews are very, like, influential on the game. I feel like a lot of interviews are just getting information from the devs. At least that's how I see it. When I interview the devs, I don't want to try to influence the game, and I feel that's why last interview I almost swore. I almost swore on God's Day. I did not like my last interview because I feel like I was being, like, pushy, and I was too surface level on a lot of the topics I was trying to push on or asking questions about. And I feel like I should kind of stick to what I know, right? And trying to get new information. So, yeah. I feel like I am not a good person to influence the game. I feel like I'm a good person to discuss the game and get new information and kind of inspire debate. Because I do think that critique of me not playing enough is totally true. Like, why should I try to influence the game if I don't play hundreds and hundreds of hours and have a firm grasp on every system in the game? I don't think I should be doing that, you know? Excuse me. We want PoE 2. I also want PoE 2. Real talk, Ziggy is the one testing stuff in their offices, so everything bad is clearly Ziggy's fault. Boom! Totally. When the pod with Scorpius drops, Ben, D2, we're going to do a pod, Scorpius and I, whenever we get no 0.5 info. We were going to do it next week, but I was like, bro, do we really want to do it? He was like, yeah, you're totally right. I was going to say we shouldn't do it until we get news. So I'm like, yeah. So Scorpius pod, we get to talk about his desire to want to, like, gamify the game more for like retention, to keep players in the game longer. We're going to talk about meaningful combat, about 0.5. I actually listened to Scorpius's stream for like an hour and a half yesterday. Friday. It was really good. I've actually loved Scorp's stream. I listen to very few streamers. I listen to Blaze, Darth Microtransaction, Gazzy, 787 Prada, just for the music. And then I listened to Scorpius for like an hour and a half. It was a really good stream. He was like he was actually like talking, not just like ignoring chat the whole time and stuff. It was really good. If you haven't checked out Scorpius, definitely check him out. Like, I think I disagree with him on so much, but I think he's a really cool guy. Mm-hmm. Do we have any new info on 0.5 or just that we are learning at the end of the month? 100% only that we're learning at the end of the month. I am Pred. We have 0. Love Big Scorp stream. Yeah, he's really nice. I've really enjoyed him. Watching him. When are you going to get the God Amongst Us Mortals Ben on the pod? I feel like, I don't know. Maybe when PoE 2 is a game that he enjoys more. I don't know if he enjoys it a lot yet. I actually haven't watched Ben playing PoE 2 in a while. By the way, his clearing of the gauntlet was insane. Insane. What did I watch him do? I think it was Uber Elder on Gauntlet. I will never be at that level. Crazy. You said he was normal, then hit us with that. What did I hit you with? I don't even know. Yeah, but I would love to. Ben's really nice. I met him in person. He was really, really nice when I met him in LA. I had no idea what Ben looked like, so I didn't know it was Ben. And also, I was a nobody at this point. But he was really nice in person. Jung Grown was also really nice in person too. When I chatted with him. So, if liking the game was a requirement for being on the pod, why did you interview One Man Left? My last understanding, Built Not Bought, was that like I don't keep up on like all the streamer stuff, but I thought like last I remember, Ben like was playing PoE 2 and he straight up like quit very quickly and just went like back to PoE 1. So like Connor was playing a lot of PoE 2, right? So if Ben is playing PoE 2 quite a bit more now, I'd definitely reach out and ask him. I guess I meant not like liking the game, but like actively playing the new season. I guess that's what I meant, right? So, but still, just chatting with him. I feel like I wouldn't even talk that much about PoE 2. I'd kind of just try to interview Ben as a player in person, because he has a very interesting journey too as a player. So, I think by far you're the nicest PoE streamer, no joke. You reek positivity, which is great. Thank you. That's how I am in the flesh and how I try to be just on stream as well. Sometimes I do struggle with this. Not on stream, mostly when I'm reading the comments in my videos. That's when I struggle to be nice all the time. But I've recently learned a lot. I feel like that has helped me out. So I think it's a great conversation. Like I feel like my chat with Connor was awesome. Ben even played 0.2 and didn't want to switch to LE when everybody did. He's a PoE 1 guy, and he will be a PoE 2 player eventually. Yeah. He hates the current endgame. But he's not alone in that, brother. He's not alone in that. I might need to get my brother on a live podcast. I wonder how he would do with our current podcast live. By the way, Dimmy Matt playing the sad trombone sound during the podcast with Miso. How dare you? How dare you? I can't believe you. Comment section is usually just a good reason to explain why we need Jesus. Yeah. PoE 2 isn't difficult enough for Ben to carry yet. That's actually true. It's actually not that hard. Like the Arbiter of Ash, I remember how crazy everybody thought the dodge in mechanic was for that last ball. And it's not, it's so easy. It's so easy. I swear the hardest part of Arbiter of Ash is not seeing that the ground has changed, that there's another ball off your screen. That's the part that I keep dying to, I swear. When I'm doing Uber Arbiter, I just don't see that last ball. I need to just count the balls. Maven is my favorite boss in the entire game, guys. Maven is my #1 boss in all Path of Exiles. No, I'm not even kidding. Maven is the best. She has so many different things going on throughout her fight. She has distinct phases. The fact that she pulls in other pinnacle. Can you imagine Maven in PoE 2? How cool would that be? Pulling in other bosses during the nucleus phase. I mean, the last phase with no movement skills. Oh my god. Can you imagine actually having to navigate through the... Oh... I mean, I kind of have to do that on all the builds I play because I usually go Leap Slam and I don't slot in Frost Blink or Flame Dash. But can you imagine doing that final phase consistently with just like Actually, with WASD, I feel like maybe that'd be pretty easy. Do I think Maven will come one day in PoE 2? No. No, I don't. Maybe a boss like her, but I don't think they're ever going to port PoE 1 bosses into PoE 2. Nope. Okay. What time is it? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Well, Exiles, this has been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate all of you watching the pod, participating in some discussion. We had a crazy turnout today. Like over 800 viewers, I think, at our peak. Freaking awesome. GGG. News win. Dates win. I need to book PTO. I really do. Please announce it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day. I got to get ready for church. I hope your Sunday goes well, you guys. Let's see. Let's give some love to Crimson Cast. We're gonna get him on the pod too. He's awesome. He's currently doing a campaign speed run of Path of Exile 2. Gonna raid him on Twitch. Everybody on YouTube, make sure, if you haven't already, it really helps, like the video. This turns into a video after the stream ends. Lots of people watch it. Leave a comment below, add to the discussion. It makes me want to continue streaming and making these lives on YouTube. When people do that, it really, really, really helps. Like I said, should be a Toxic Try video out today on my second channel. And I don't know if there's going to be any PoE 2 videos on the main channel unless there's news. Like, I don't want to... We already talked about the meaningful combat stuff. I don't think I have much more to say right now, so I'm not making content for content's sake. What you might see on the main channel is a No Rest for the Wicked breakdown, because I'm almost done with that game. I have a lot to say about it. I have like 10 videos about it on my second channel. Main channel is going to be getting it soon, so that's going to be a time. Anyways, hope you all have a blessed Sunday. God bless you guys. Love you all. I'll chat with you later. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Oh. Oh, I'm still live on